You hear that? Powerful foes.
The desperate fighting program amongst high school students. A new legend is about to start.
May the manliest of all men come on down!
Nobody touches his precious Nanako, the sister complex kingpin of steel, Yu Narukami!
It's only natural.
Wage slave in the boonies by day, hero by night, Captain Resentiment, Yosuke Hanamura!
Everything that bores me has gotta go.
A spunky dragon with deadly legs, the carnivore who's discarded womanhood, Chie Satonaka!
You need to eat more meat!
Please escort me to the ring, my prince, the unconquerable Snow Black, Yukiko Amagi!
I'll finish you in one strike!
Blooming roses and bulging muscles, the blood-curdling beefcake emperor, Kanji Tatsumi! Deep into realms of romance, the body of a child, the brain of a genius, the 2000 IQ killjoy detective, Naoto Shirogane!
Is this an army of idiots?
Fight and survive towards the one throne waiting at the end! The P1 Grand Prix where fierce fights will be fought! The battle begins tonight!
Well, that's a better intro than I could
Persona 4 Arena.
So, as Silver's hype indicates, it is finally time for her request to be fulfilled. And immediately learned. Thank you for the lurk, Silver. We'll be right here. We won't make much progress to start with, so... This is either the beginning of this is going to be the best content or the worst content, depending on your point of view. But anyway, my name's Drew, and I'm streaming for Damage Control Blog today, very early this Labor Day. But the show must go on. So we are here to, oh, an advertisement for the sequel. How nice.
Persona 4 Arena.
So, yeah. And I don't have Goblin here to tell me what all the moves are. Oh, well, we'll pull it down just a little then. Well, looks like none of the shut down stores on Main Street reopened since then. Alright, so we're going to start with lesson mode. Walking, yes. I need to walk before I can run. Welcome aboard, Dio. Okay. Alright, don't condescend to me, game.
You're not coming?
My buttons are arranged diagonally, game. Nope, that wasn't it.
You're not coming? You're not coming? Crap! Just getting started. Sheesh.
Oh, that's the wrong one. There we go.
You're not coming?
I'm going to play story mode. I'm going to try anyway. Which is kind of the point, yeah, because that was kind of the point of rushing through Persona 4 Golden before starting this. Okay. Jump D.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. And stay down. And stay down. And stay down. And I go. Here goes. Here goes. Persona. Go, Jiraiya. Go, Jiraiya.
There we go.
Persona.
Lining myself up to take the hit is the most difficult part of the tutorial so far.
And I go.
Hooray. Alright, movement seem... I seem to be okay for movement.
Go get it.
Oh,
And I
goodness.
coming. And stay down.
Nope.
Stay down. And I coming.
Auto combo system. Here it is.
Now I'm pissed. You're not coming?
Hooray.
Persona.
I see.
You're not coming?
Okay.
You're not coming?
No? There we go.
You're not coming?
Furious actions.
You're not coming?
Hey, Garma. Welcome on in.
Just getting started. No escape. Damn it.
Could use the no escape line. There we go. Alright.
Go. Take this. You're not coming? You're not coming? Go! Now I'm pissed.
Hooray.
Jiraiya! Jiraiya!
Come on. You can do it.
Persona! I'll show the man's potential. You're not Pinnock coming.
Go, Jiraiya! Just getting started. Go, Jiraiya! Go, Jiraiya!
Okay.
Just getting started.
Pinnock coming.
Okay.
Pinnock coming.
Here goes. Persona. And here goes. Go, Jiraiya. Persona.
All right. So fun. All right, Dio. See you in a bit.
Pinnock coming.
I'll focus on getting good here, and we'll see how. We'll see what I can make out of it. Don't you have wind moves, Yoshi?
Pinnock coming.
Over here.
Pinnock coming. Pinnock coming.
Danger! Exit penalty!
Dark. Oh goodness.
Just getting started. Chill. Wait, sheesh.
Pinnock coming.
Chill. Wait, sheesh. Sheesh. Chill. Wait, just getting started.
Oh goodness.
Pinnock coming.
Here we go. 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 Here we go.
Oh dear. I didn't have to in a real fight.
Just getting started. Crap! Sheesh. Crap! Just getting started. Crap! Sheesh. Crap! Just getting started. Crap! Sheesh. Crap! Sheesh. Sheesh. Just getting started. These are not. Crap! Crap! Just getting started.
I don't think this one's happening.
Getting started. Just getting started.
Nope. Yeah, we're not doing super cancels. For sure.
You're not coming?
Oh, let's see, what's up? One more cancel.
Just getting started. These are not. Oh, crap! Just getting started. Oh, crap! Just getting started. You're not coming?
I had to mash that.
You're not coming? Just getting started. Just getting started. Just getting started.
Yeah, combos aren't going to really help.
What's in this?
That's a little too easy. I foresee myself getting insta-killed by the computer many, many, many times. Well, that's the end of lesson mode. Oh boy. Well, hopefully nothing bad happens.
Welcome to the Velvet Room. This place exists between dream and reality, mind and matter. Now then,
Well,
why
I
don't
guess
you
we have to
introduce
start
yourself?
with you.
I
me your
wish you
strength.
good luck.
Blue. The floor, the ceiling, the furnishings. Everything is blue. Except for that bottle of cognac over there. It's quite unlike what I normally see through my day. And yet, my heart is mysteriously calm. I recognize the slight rumbling as an engine and realize that I'm in a car. Or rather, someplace else I recognize.
welcome to the Velvet Room.
The old man with the bizarre face sitting before me makes an expression that appears to be a smile. Sitting quietly next to the old man is a woman as beautiful and as delicate as an ice sculpture.
It seems we have a guest with an intriguing destiny. My name is Igor. I am delighted to make your acquaintance.
The Velvet Room. Igor. Even though I'm barely conscious, I remember that this is not the first time I've heard those names. Naruhodo, this is a dream. This happened in the past. I've been in this room before. My memory is correct. What he says next is...
This place exists between dream and reality, mind and matter. It is a room that only those who are bound by a contract may enter. It may be that such a fate awaits you in the near future.
The words I expect to hear fall from the old man's mouth. I'm surprised that I still remember them. Another me, the one not in the dream. Can't help but smile at that.
Now then, why don't you introduce yourself?
I remember this, too. When they said my name here, it forged a contract with them. And so I answer. You, Narukami. When I open my eyes, the light is so blinding that I have to squint. For a moment, I can't figure out where I am, and I look
Right.
around.
I was on my way back.
I mutter to myself and look out the window. The sky is somewhat cloudy, unfortunately, but the scenery is as peaceful as always. It seems that I fell asleep on the train headed to the countryside where I spent the last year, in Inaba. If I recall correctly, when I first came to that town, it was an afternoon just like this. I dozed off in the same way back then, and was summoned to the Velvet Room. That was when Igor said that misfortunes would befall me, and just as he foretold, I was dragged into an outrageous murder mystery. We determined that no one, in fact, had killed Sonic the Hedgehog, and finished Amy Rose's birthday without further incident. That was no ordinary case. The Midnight Channel, shadows and personas, the powers of the heart. I saw things that could scarcely be believed. But I made memories there that could never be replaced as well. We gained the powers of the personas, and we suffered together. I stood with my friends on the investigation team against these misfortunes and fought alongside them. There's no way I could have overcome such ordeals without their
Wonder
help.
what everyone's been up to.
After solving the mystery, it was decided that I would leave Inaba around the same time my parents would be returning from overseas. It's been about 2 months since I last saw them all, as they were saying goodbye to me at the train station. I decided to stay at the Dojima residence during the Golden Week so I could spend the holiday with my friends. Of course, my uncle was happy to hear this, and his only daughter, Nanako, should be glad to see me too.
Damn it! I still haven't picked up Yosuke's gift.
It was supposed to be something special, after all. Actually, I received a call from Teddy, one of my investigation team friends, this morning. The details of the conversation are a bit confusing.
Hello? Is this Sensei?
Yeah, what's up?
I'm really sorry to bring this up, but I forgot to tell you something very important. I have a special request for the souvenirs I'm sure you'll be bringing your bear's friend.
Teddy, I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to tell people what you want them to bring you as souvenirs. I already have souvenirs for everyone, but... oh well. Sure enough, Teddy was only asking for some snacks that aren't sold in Inaba, so it wasn't much trouble. But there was one problem.
Oh, and one more thing. Can I ask you to pick up something for Yosuke, too?
I don't know, Teddy, can you?
I was planning on bringing something for everyone anyway, but go ahead.
Cool! Well, Yosuke's been down in the dumps after his mommy burned his favorite nurse.
What?
She was what I called scorching hot. Just kidding.
A nurse?
I'm sorry, but my nurse moved away after I completed her social link. It's a bit out of the way to go collect her.
Aw, come on, Sensei. You know what I'm talking about. His nurse magazine with the chest examinations and the bear behinds.
And we're off to just as thirsty a start as we were in Thousand Arms.
I see. And you expect me to buy him a replacement?
Of course, silly. People coming to visit are supposed to bring presents.
All right. Oh, I was planning to head back tomorrow, but since we're meeting up early, I decided to go back today. Can you pass that on to everyone?
Aha! Then the sexy nurses will be arriving even sooner.
No, that makes it much more difficult to procure it. Are you old enough? Like you're at, well, I suppose you're a third year now, but still.
It'll be like, Sensei, we have an emergency patient. Yusuke will be so happy. Okay then, we'll be waiting for you.
I'm a little worried now. I hope he isn't telling everybody something that would give them the wrong idea. Well, I should just call again once I get there. But I'll ignore that for now.
Nurses, huh?
In the end, I wasn't able to pick one up for him. How can I put it? I'd feel bad for Yosuke if I gave him that magazine, and every time he opened it, his friend's face kept popping up in his head. Alright, you got a good excuse, you. Solid. A+. And I have to think Yosuke has his pride, too. He doesn't need me buying him this stuff. Okay, so the first thing that happens when we get there is Yosuke complaining we don't have the stuff. And then again, this is Yosuke we're talking about. I'm sure he'll understand if I explain my reasoning. Probably.
Now pulling into Yaso Inaba. This will be the last stop. Yaso Inaba.
End of the line.
Oh,
End of the line already. Looks like I'd been asleep for a lot longer than I thought. Just as that thought came to me, a certain worry crossed in my mind. If I had a dream of the Velvet Room, did that mean I was going to be dragged into another adventure? No, I shouldn't think such things. I'm overthinking it. When I left a god in charge here. When I left, everything should be fine. Igor had said, I am delighted to make your acquaintance, after all, so it's nothing but a dream. It's quite misleading, since I've had dreams of being summoned into that room ever since. The train begins to slow, and I take that as my cue to gather my belongings from the luggage rack above me. When the train comes to a complete stop and the doors open, even the smell of the wind evokes a sense of nostalgia. Ha ha ha, I think I am getting a little too sentimental. I step out to the platform with a wry smile. I'm standing in front of the train station, but this town is as quiet as it's always been. That is a terrible simile. I realize the sun has started to set and the orange sky envelops the world.
now what should I do?
Today is May 2nd. According to the calendar, the latter half of the holidays will begin tomorrow. I told Dojima-san that I was going to arrive today, but it seems he's been too busy with work to come get me. Or it could be that there's nobody left to work the gas station, and nobody can drive anymore. Ryotaro Dojima. He's my uncle. I stayed with him last year. He's a detective with the Inaba police, and he's raising his elementary school-age daughter Nanako by himself. It seems that he was suddenly contacted by a detective from the Metropolitan Police Department regarding last year's case, and will have to work late. What happened last year was very serious, so that may be why this has come up. At least we don't have to watch Nanako get the phone call this time. It just breaks my heart every time. I would be a terrible parent. I'm way too much of a softie. You shouldn't have worried about it. I recall how apologetic he sounded over the phone and can't help from smiling. I told him I knew the way over from the station, but a bag packed with necessities and souvenirs for everyone turns out to be quite a load. Nanako must be waiting for me alone at the house, so I want to get there as soon as possible, too. To be honest, I don't know when the bus will come. Maybe I should just call for a taxi? Just as I'm thinking this...
Nanako?
Big bro!
It is Nanako. There's no way I'd mistake
You
her.
came to meet me all on your own?
Why did she come to the station all by herself? True, the Dojima residence was within walking distance, but it couldn't have been easy for her. And even though it's still light out right now, it will get dark soon, and the country roads are barely lit. What would she have done if I hadn't been here? I'm about to voice my concerns, but Nanako sounds slightly proud when she says,
Don't worry, Dad knows about it. He gave me money for the bus. He said he couldn't make it, so I came instead. Welcome back, big bro. I wanted to see you so much.
Thanks. I'm happy to see you again, too.
I see. She must have wanted to show me that she's grown up, too. She's around that age, after all. For a moment, I'm surprised that Dojima-san let her do this. But I can kind of imagine what kind of conversation took place. Nanako had always been a capable girl, but over the past year, her housekeeping skills have improved greatly. And she's proven herself to be very reliable, and it sounds ridiculous with this dramatic voice. She takes the lead in many things within the house, and even Dojima-san can't compete with her sometimes. I could easily imagine that scene in my mind. And it's true that I'm glad someone came to welcome me. I take Nanako's hand, and we begin walking side by side.
Well, no sense standing around here. What's in the fridge at home?
Oh no, not the fridge.
Lots. Dad and I bought a ton of stuff since you were coming to visit.
If Nanako says so, then he really must have bought a lot. Dojima-san did say he'd pick up dinner for us, but if that's the case, maybe I should put together something to go with it. I ask Nanako what she wants to eat, and she looks back with a twinkle in her eyes.
Are you gonna cook dinner? Ooh, I wanna help.
Nanako and I make small talk while we walk through Inaba for the first time in a little while. Being here like this makes me feel as if I've gone back in time to a year ago. Or you know, to March. 2 months. After we get back to the Dojima house, I hurry and unpack my belongings before heading to the kitchen. Oh shit, man. How many times have I heard Dojima? And here I am going Dojima like an idiot. Ugh. Nanako helps me out as diligently as she had claimed earlier. The way she mixes the eggs seem more skillful than before. Fighting game, folks. You're such a good girl, Nanako.
Good evening. This is the Evening Journal with news for May 2nd. Our top story is on the domestic airline that was hijacked yesterday.
The TV in the living room echoes through the house. The TV was on quite often in this house. When I first came to Inaba, Nanako was practically being raised by the television. There had been this odd sense of distance between us around that time. She hadn't started calling me Big Bro, and we didn't cook together like we are now. It's the little things that bring back memories. Right when we were about done making dinner, Dojima-san arrived with some deluxe sushi. Nanako quickly gets up and rushes to the door. She seems so happy when Dojima-san comes home. It is a scene of such beauty and complexity that we could never possibly create a background image for this text. Never mind. Dojima-san apologizes about the sudden increase in his workload, and then we all sit at the table and begin eating. Being here like this makes me feel like the 2 months I was gone never happened at all. There is a warm atmosphere, as if I've always been a part of this family and have lived here with them for my entire life. I thank both of them from deep in my heart, and after I give them the souvenirs I'd bought for them, we enjoy chatting with each other as a family. God, narrator voice is just so inappropriate for this. And so long.
Phew.
Oh, my Jack Frost figure's still here. Let's see, only one of them. I put together like 4 mechs. Where's the rest of them, huh? And then the Pyrojack's missing, the King Frost is missing. Another familiar room. This is the room that was prepared for me on the second floor of the Dojima residence. Nanako fell asleep from all the excitement. After carrying her to her room, I tell my uncle that I'd be going to bed early as well, since I have plans. So fuck you, uncle. All he said was okay. I'm a little perplexed by this, but I have my suspicions. And as I open the door to my old room, it seems I was right. The room is no different than it had been when I was living here, except for the many differences I already described. It's exactly the same as when I left Inaba. I close the door with a feeling of wistfulness. As I sit down on my sofa, thinking about my uncle's thoughtfulness, I sigh from the exhaustion of the long journey. That's long journey, not strange journey. I'll be able to see my friends tomorrow. Considering that there are still several days left in this holiday, it may be nice to leave early tomorrow and go visit the shopping district.
It's raining.
Oh, no, don't, no. The time is just before midnight. No. Don't do it. In mere moments, it'll be a new day. Whenever it rains at night, I keep checking the time. While I spent the last year in Inaba, I was always checking for the Midnight Channel, which was a popular urban legend here in Inaba. It's a bad habit of mine, even when I'm not here. If you look at a turned-off TV at midnight on a rainy night, you will see your soulmate. Discovering that this rumor was actually true, partially, was the first reason why I became involved in the murder investigation last year. But the person who actually appears on the Midnight Channel isn't your soulmate. Disagree, I did see the soulmate once. It's the next victim. I suppose that would be an accurate description of my soulmate as well. After discovering this, we all nervously sat before our TVs on rainy nights in order to solve the case.
That brings back some memories. Nothing will show anymore, though.
You just had to say it, you. Will nothing really appear, though? I suddenly have doubts. Why would I think that? After we solved that case, we all confirmed that the Midnight Channel wasn't appearing anymore. Well, you know. I mean, we beat the shit out of the guy that was actually doing it, so they wouldn't dare, especially with me back in town.
Says what?
The empty screen stays silent. No, I don't think anybody lost the ability to go to TV Land. The Midnight Channel's just not airing. The empty screen stays silent. So why?
Just in case.
It's
Location confirmed. Sending supplies.
Okay, good. That'll make speaking even easier, right? Well, we've got still the Them Bones Halloween Kit Kats here. Thank you very much. The Absolute Truth Silver. Speaking of silver, why is it every time I see There's No Way, I instantly think of Sonic 06? It's not going to turn on. There's no way. The more I think of it, the more I feel my resolve fading. I peer into the TV screen as if something is drawing me into it. The only thing I see is my reflection in the dark glass of the CRT television. Or so I thought.
Rivals. They powerful foes. The desperate fighting program amongst high school students. A new legend is about to start.
This looks familiar.
May the manliest of all men come on down!
Nobody touches his precious Nanako, the sister complex Kingpin of Steel, Yu Narukami!
It's only natural.
Wage slave in the boonies by day, hero by night, Captain Resentiment, Yosuke Hanamura!
Everything that bores me has gotta go.
A spunky dragon with deadly legs, the carnivore who's discarded womanhood, Chie Satonaka!
You need to eat more meat!
Please escort me to the ring, my prince! The unconquerable Snow Black, Yukiko Amagi!
I'll finish you in one strike!
Blooming roses and bulging muscles, the blood-curdling beefcake emperor, Kanji Tatsumi! Deep into realms of romance, the body of a child, the brain of a genius, the 2000 IQ killjoy detective, Naoto Shirogane!
Is this an army of idiots?
Fight and survive towards the one throne waiting at the end! The P1 Grand Prix where fierce fights will be fought! The battle begins tonight!
Oh, there's a person. Oh, it's just me.
What on earth was that?
I see. Nobody else was watching. Though two of them might be out of town.
Sister Complex Kingpin of Steel?
Okay, that's a satisfying reaction. Was that me? Sister Complex Kingpin of Steel? I'm impressed. There's so much wrong with that phrase, I don't know where to begin. No, I shouldn't be thinking about that. Those words aren't the problem here. I hurry to make sure the TV isn't plugged in. That was the Midnight Channel. What it was actually showing was rather ridiculous, but thinking back, everything the Midnight Channel showed last year didn't make much sense either. I'm suddenly gripped by tension. If the Midnight Channel is appearing again, I have to find out why. I pull out my cell phone and search for Yosuke's number.
Let's see, H. Hanamura Yosuke.
I quickly hit the call button. Does everyone know about this? Is everyone aware that the Midnight Channel is still being broadcasted? Do they know that it's showing us? And that we've been given taglines that can only be described as uncharitable.
Hello, this is Yosuke.
That's clearly the beginning of your voicemail, Yosuke.
Yosuke?
It's nothing. I just freaked out when you called all of a sudden. Yeah, that's it. What's up? Hey, when do you want to meet?
I can tell what's going on just by the sound of his voice. Yosuke knows about what's happened on the Midnight Channel just now, and he's trying to hide that from me. Considering that I've been out of Inaba for a while, I bet he's trying to keep me from worrying about it. There's no need for him to be concerned about that. Then again, I can kind of understand how he feels. I am his friend, after all.
And that's not why I was calling. I saw the Midnight Channel. You saw it too, right?
Huh?
I can easily hear Yosuke panicking on the other side of the phone. He's probably surprised that I saw the Midnight Channel when I shouldn't even be in Inaba right now. He must be thinking that the Midnight Channel is now appearing on a national TV network. Because looks like Teddy didn't tell him after all.
Did Teddy not tell you? Since we're meeting up early tomorrow, I decided to come today. I figured you wouldn't think I could have seen it, so I gave you a call.
Well, I assumed you weren't here yet, so I didn't want to rely on you.
You haven't changed. So how about it? You're not gonna leave this be, are you, Captain Resentiment?
Why'd you zero in on that part? Did you see how they called you a Sister Complex Kingpin?
Mine's not that bad.
That's exactly what a Sister Complex Kingpin would say.
You think? Oh, gotta tell you, that program's not the only strange thing lately. Teddy, Rise, and Kanji aren't here either. They disappeared.
For a moment, I'm at a loss for words. Not only has the Midnight Channel come back on, we've lost contact with 3 of our friends. I have a bad feeling about this. I can't believe that those 2 things are unrelated.
All right, we should get together tomorrow like we planned.
Yeah, at the Jeunesse Food Court. Welcome back, partner.
I'm suddenly reminded that I haven't even greeted Yosuke yet. I finally feel the sense of worry fade a little, and I answer with a smile.
It's good to be here.
No matter what has happened, our friends may be in danger. If that's so, then there's only one thing to do. Speaking of things I have to do.
Oh, right. Sorry to say, I forgot to pick up your souvenir.
A souvenir? Don't even worry about it, man.
You sure? I thought you were really looking forward to it. Those nurses.
Nurses?
I had a feeling he wouldn't get it if I don't tell him flat out. This is rather hard to bring up, but oh well.
Yeah, Teddy asked me to get it for you. He said you were crushed that they got burned.
Oh, wait, this is all...
I didn't know you were into nurses.
Shut up! That's enough! Damn it, you're trying to wind me up, aren't you? Stay home, you jerk.
But I'm already here. Well, I'll see you tomorrow.
At least he seems like he understands about his souvenir. In any case, the preparations have been made. Tomorrow, I'll meet with everyone to sort through whatever information we have on this situation. If we have to, we'll go back into that world. It'd be best if this was all just our imaginations. But unfortunately, we will know that the Midnight Channel won't have appeared without a reason. I should make sure I'm ready for tomorrow and get some rest. Now we know why the other 3 members of the team weren't on the character select for story mode. Every day is great at your Jeunesse. Drives me crazy that that's 2 syllables. This place is lively as always. Look across the food court on Jeunesse's roof for the first time in a while. Even though there aren't many people in Inaba, this place is exceptionally crowded. Plus, because it's Golden Week as well, I feel like it's busier than usual. Oh man, somebody's going to buy the TV, aren't they? Like, we won't be able to go to Teddy's home. I happened to run into Yosuke at the elevators. We briefly greet each other. Guys are weird like that. The closer we are, the more simple our interactions when we meet each other face to face. The 2 of us step out to the food court. We immediately find Yukiko and Chie. They wave back at us from the bench they're sitting on.
Good to see you guys again.
Welcome back! We missed you! The guest of honor's finally here! You're looking well. Welcome back. Should we...
Oh, he already knows about the Midnight Channel thing. He's actually the one who called me up about it.
Oh, I see. This has turned into a pretty thrown-together reunion, hasn't it? But I'm glad you came.
We chat some more while we all sit down. Then Yosuke stands up and clears his throat loudly. He's probably been waiting for the right moment to say something. He hasn't mentioned anything to me, but I can easily guess what he's about to say. We all look towards Yosuke.
Well, it sucks that we can't hang out more before jumping into another mystery, but to celebrate our partner's return, I hereby reinstate the investigation team in response to the Midnight Channel going back on the air last night.
Oh, the team is back!
Just hearing that name again gets me all fired up. Yeah, let's do this!
I don't think the applause is necessary.
You're all still level 80, right? We're not, this isn't going to be like The Answer and you all suck again, right? Oh, we have a cat cam activation. Let's see if the camera is pointing in the right direction. It's not balanced on the Thousand Arms jewel case anymore. That so isn't correct. One moment, we'll get that fixed. Of course, he's lying down, so you don't see much of him. Well, when he wakes back up from his nap, you'll be the first to know. Why not? It's been 2 months since we last saw each other, after all. Chie and Yukio start chuckling when I shrug, and though Yosuke seems saddened at that, he still ends up laughing along as well. It's a relief to see that they're the same as always, but because of that, it makes me more worried about the friends that aren't here right now. We can't start slacking off. We begin to sort through the information that we know about already.
Well, let's get cracking. I mean, this is no laughing matter. No one's heard from Teddie, Kanji, or Rise. Just those three, right?
Yeah. Oh, I got a hold of Naoto-kun, but I didn't tell her about this stuff. She told me she couldn't make it today because of her job, so I didn't want to worry her. She seemed pretty bummed that she couldn't be here too.
If she has a reason for not being here and we can still contact her, then Naoto should be fine. That leaves Teddie, Rise, and Kanji. Yeah, weren't you listening? Not hearing back from them after an entire day has passed isn't normal at all. The relationship between their sudden disappearances and the reappearance of the Midnight Channel last night disturbs me.
One thing's been bothering me. The picture on the TV was very clear last night.
Yeah. Going by the pattern from last year, it wouldn't be that clear until after the victim entered the TV.
Hey, isn't this the first time a big group of people was shown together? Plus, we're still here. Why us anyway? And what's up with those insulting descriptions?
Chie seems pretty angry about it. Many of the locals know about the rumor of the Midnight Channel. In other words, this troubling broadcast has already been seen by who knows how many people. When I've been told, the moment Chie tried to ask another student about the Midnight Channel, the other girl ran away with a look of fear on her face. It's no surprise that Chie would be angry. Still.
What bothers me most is Teddie. He was acting like the host of that show.
Yeah, and we can't find him.
This smells fishy. Then again, I doubt he would play a prank like this for no reason.
I guess we'll just have to go inside the TV and find out what's going on.
That's right. Go inside the TV. Out of everything, that was the element that shook our common sense the most out of everything we experienced last year. Actually, the murders in last year's events happened in another world inside the television. This world is filled with monsters called shadows that are born from people's hearts. Because my friends and I gained personas, the power to defeat these shadows, we were able to enter TV screens and fight them.
Won't we be stuck in there without Teddie to give us an exit?
But even we persona users would find it extremely difficult to leave that world on our own. In order to come back, we need the exit TV that our friend Teddie was capable of creating.
Not so. I've had Teddie keep the exit TV out on that side.
Look at you, all prepared.
I mean, think about it. What if we were half asleep and fell into a TV when Teddie wasn't over there? Isn't that a scary thought?
Like anyone would be that clumsy.
Anyway, it sounds like it's safe for us to go investigate then.
No matter what the reason, it's reassuring to know that we have an exit strategy ready for us. To be honest, I almost fell into it the first time it appeared in my room, after all.
Yeah, there's no doubt that something's going on in there. Is everyone ready?
We're all good to go. To tell the truth, I had a hunch that this was going to happen.
We all share a look to confirm our intentions. All of them nod back. I can see the seriousness in their eyes. Even though there was a 2-month gap since I last saw them, they still continue to put their trust in me. I feel a slight sense of pride as I stand up from the bench. The large screen TV in the electronics department is directly below the food court. That was the entrance we always used last year. Wait, you guys going in without the fox?
It's a holiday, so the store's full of people.
Feel like things are picking up around town.
It's time to go. Hello. All the models are on sale right now.
You know,
It's been a while since last time.
I'm a little nervous.
Whoa, wait! There are still people in this aisle!
Hey, get ready! The customers are going away!
Uh-huh.
Let's go!
Isn't this different from usual? Oh no! What do we do?
What can we do? We can't stop now!
I hear a voice. It's a woman's voice. It sounds familiar to me. This voice is...
Welcome to the Velvet Room.
I don't sense that distinctive floating feeling that I usually have when I enter the TV world. When I concentrate, I realize that I must be sitting in a chair. The moment I open my eyes, I see vibrant blue. The Velvet Room. I visited this place an untold number of times last year, and once more in my dreams yesterday. I never thought I would return to this place.
Huh? It's not a dream this time? What's going on? Didn't my contract end already?
Yeah, I'm a free agent. I wanted to go sign in Tampa Bay. Igor, who usually sits front and center, is nowhere to be seen. The one to greet me is the woman with silver hair, Margaret. Could this be a personal summoning then? Wink, wink. That happened a few times last year, too. Margaret smiles as if she senses my suspicions.
This room is tied to your fate. Nothing that occurs here is meaningless. Though you reached an end to one journey, you now find yourself here again. This shows that you will once again be faced with a question.
A question? And something really is going on?
Another mystery has appeared, and we are about to be dragged into it again. Could that be what she means?
From here on, what befalls you will upset your status quo. It is true that you've opened the door once already, but all things change. Nothing ever remains the same. What you gained before will change over time as well. You will have to face them once again.
Face them? Again?
The first thing that Margaret's words stir up in my mind is the sight of my friends' smiling faces. Is that going to change? No, that can't be true. And face them again? That's impossible. Once I wake up and leave this room, I should still be with my friends. There's no need to jump to conclusions. But Margaret appears to have anticipated my thoughts and smiles while narrowing her eyes.
Show me how you will proceed down the path that awaits beyond the door you've opened.
My vision wavers and the blue light before me vanishes quickly. Wait. I still need to know what you mean by those words. Yeah, all that was one scene.
Where am I?
Where did I get thrown to when I left that blue room? The scenery is so unexpected that I'm at a loss. This is a school. It's the music room of Yasogami High. I attended this school with my friends until recently. There's no mistaking it. We entered the TV together, so why am I here? No, that's not right.
This is... No, wait. This has to be the TV world.
The graffiti on the ground. Shoes placed like they're for some kind of ritual. The eerily shining eyes of the portraits on the wall. The more carefully I look, the more I realize that this place is not the real Yasogami High. Most of all, I sense no warmth from this place, like I always did for the students who would come and go from here. This is a fake. It's definitely not the school I attended. But what happened to turn the world inside the TV to this? On top of that, we entered the TV from our usual entrance, but I ended up in a completely different place.
This has never happened before.
I also realized that my friends aren't with me either. Did we somehow get separated? I start to feel chills down my spine and look around.
Hello! Sorry for the wait! Greetings, boys and girls of Yasogami! The P1 Grand Prix is about to begin! There's no need for manners or courtesy or anything today, so let it all hang out! Tell us how you really feel!
What the...
Is that you, Rise? I shout out questions, but she doesn't answer. Because it's not a fucking intercom, you idiot. This is Rise Kujikawa, one of our friends on the investigation team that we couldn't contact. Does she not hear me, or is she choosing not to respond? As I ask myself this, I hear different voices echoing as well. I look around in surprise. These voices, it's not just from one or two people. I see countless students staring at me from the hallways, the entrance, everywhere I turn.
May I have your attention, please? I, Rizette, will be your commentator. But first, the General has a few words for you all.
What's going on? Why are there so many people inside the TV world? Before I can think of any answers, Rise makes another announcement. And, as if on cue, the monitor in the music room turns on. What appeared on it was Teddy. He was wearing a strange hat and cape, just like he did on the Midnight Channel last night. First Rise, and now Teddy. What are they doing?
You're all here now. Well then, I'm proud to announce the opening of our very own P1 Grand Prix!
That's the same as well. That's the same as our tournament that was shown on the Midnight Channel. Then, is Teddy really the one behind this insanity?
Teddy, what's going on here? We came to look for you and Rise and...
Oh yeah, no, just you two. There isn't like a third person you're looking for or anything.
Always with the talking, Sensei. It's a big waste of time. Less talk and more fighting. With the next challenger, come on down.
Teddy looks away and makes a dismissive gesture. Smoke suddenly bursts out from underneath me and robs me of any visibility. Is there someone beyond that white curtain? Eventually, my field of vision begins to clear, and thank goodness it wasn't a yellow curtain. I keep my guard up, expecting anything. But who should appear but Yosuke? Though I hadn't expected to run into him like this, I am relieved to see that he's safe. Teddy did say something about a challenger just a moment ago. I recall that the P1 Grand Prix that appeared on the Midnight Channel looked a lot like some kind of fighting competition. Wait, am I supposed to fight Yosuke now? That's not funny at all.
Great.
So Yukiko
We're
must be
expecting
laughing.
you and me to fight.
Looks like. Sheesh, what's Teddy thinking?
So all buddy-buddy with each other. These battles are fought to the death. Only the victor can proceed.
This joke's gone on far enough, Teddy. We're not gonna play along with that.
I look over at Yosuke, hoping that he would agree with me. But Yosuke did not appear interested in what I had to say.
Oh, really? I guess you should declare me the winner then.
Yosuke?
What? You don't plan on fighting, right? That means I win by default.
That was not what I was... No, I think that's pretty much in line with Yosuke's personality. What's gotten into you, Yosuke? Do you have some reason to be talking like this? I can't figure out what's going on. Yosuke continued to speak in a carefree manner, and said something that I simply couldn't believe.
Oh, but is that okay with you? I mean, since Nanako-chan's here and all?
Nanako's here?
Shit.
Wait, really? You haven't seen her? She's with Teddy.
That cannot be. I saw Nanako back at the house when I left this morning. And even then, Nanako can't enter the TV world on her own. But she's in this world? I can't believe it for a moment. But what if it is true? Just coming into this world can tire a person out very quickly. On top of that, if someone who can't use a persona comes here, it can sometimes even be fatal.
Where is she? Yosuke, where's Nanako?
He just told you, you dip.
Whoa, what's gotten into you, partner? No need to get hysterical.
Why are you so calm about this? You know what happened to her last time she came here.
Nanako did come to this world once last year. It was not something any one of us could have wanted to happen. That was the start of a whole chain of events. Oh god, yes, the choose your ending minefield gauntlet I will not forget anytime soon. Remembering them is heartwarming, heart-wrenching, wrenching. It's wrenching! Even now. And yet, no. Even then, it might be wrong for me to lash out at Yosuke for the way he's acting. Calm down. I need to think straight here. All Yosuke said was that he saw her with Teddy. Then was Nanako brought here by Teddy if he's the leader of this tournament?
Yosuke, be straight with me. Are you sure Nanako is with Teddy?
How should I know? If I had to guess, I'd say she's probably still with him. Man, are you alright? Are you that worried about Nanako-chan? It's no wonder people look at you funny, thinking you have a sister complex.
That sense of wrongness that I've been feeling this whole time is getting even stronger. True, Yosuke may say some insensitive things. Really now. But mostly that's because he reads too much into a situation and becomes outspoken. He's not the type of guy to enjoy making hurtful remarks like this.
Yosuke, are you alright?
Huh? What are you talking about? I should be the one saying that to you. She's not even your real sister. All that big bro stuff really creeps me out. It was a while ago that I saw her. It's probably too late to save her now.
Okay, now that's bullshit.
You know how things went last year, after all.
Yosuke.
He's definitely not the Yosuke I know. Yosuke is my friend. He wouldn't be so callous as that. Alright, this is the first time that it's like actually crossed the Yosuke line. Like everything else was fair play. At least I thought so. Up until now. He was the one who had to face the pain of losing someone he cared about when the murders first started last year. I can't hate him for accidentally mentioning someone who was dead. But the way he's acting, he's doing this on purpose. Silently draw my sword and face Yosuke.
Draw your weapon. You'll get your fight.
What? Dude, what are you saying? You told me you'd let me win by default.
To be honest, I was thinking that this Yosuke before me was some kind of fake. I even wondered if something had happened to him, and Yosuke's shadow had appeared again in this world. But this wrongness that I keep sensing is nothing like that. This probably is the real Yosuke, so I must kill him. And the strangeness I feel is because these words really are coming out of the mouth of someone I never thought would say them. If so, then...
I don't know if you're being controlled or if there's something else going on here. Either way, you must understand the best way to resolve the situation.
There's no way to tell if what I'm saying is getting through to him at all. But if I want to figure out what's going on, I'll just have to fall for this trap once.
Sorry, but I'm gonna go all out. No hard feelings.
Huh? All that talk and you're gonna fight against your partner after all? Well, whatever. Let's hurry up and get this started.
Oh, goodness.
Ready?
Are we actually going to have a fight in our fighting game? Excuse me. There are actually dinosaurs in your dinosaur park, right?
Finally!
Here comes the Yoshi Senpai! Sign of Tunis! Giving an inch! Whoa! The differences are slim! Go, go, go!
Get some!
The fight is even fast! Anything can happen!
Get that, partner! Get some!
Both sides are waiting for an opportunity! It seems a change of pace is in order. Ooh, an awakening! Will this turn the tables? The opponent's still standing! In the end, the victor was no surprise!
After all that build-up, only one round.
Amazing, Sensei! Keep that up and zoom on ahead!
Ahead? You're gonna continue with this? Teddy, about Nanako.
Like, how many other people do I have to kill to get to her?
I don't want to spoil the surprise. If you want to find out, you'll have to get to me! And I can't say why, but I think you should hurry.
The monitor shuts off. I still haven't learned anything about Nanako, but he did seem to have been expecting me to ask about her. I don't want to think about it, but Nanako really may be here. The moment the monitor turned off, the students began to leave like waves on the receding tide. No, they don't look like students anymore. There's something inhuman just taking the shape of students. So this story is all about you falls victim to schizophrenia, I think. I was too focused on the fight to notice, but it seems their true forms were coming through. They look like silhouettes. Could they be shadows? Even so, I don't sense any hostility from them. Well, if they're not a threat and they're going away, there's no need to chase after them. Besides, there's something more important to do right now.
Yosuke, are you alright?
No, this was a fight to the death. You killed him. I walked towards where Yosuke lies collapsed on the ground, give him my hand to help him up.
Ow! Couldn't you hold back a little? I seriously thought you were gonna kill me.
The same went for you. I wouldn't have stood a chance if I held back on you.
Yosuke grimaces in pain as he stands, but he doesn't seem to have suffered any severe injuries. That's good. I knew I couldn't risk going easy on him, so I was a little worried that I'd actually hurt him. But once we get a good look at each other, Yosuke's demeanor suddenly changes.
Anyway, that aside, shut up about the nurses already. It's not like that's the only thing I ever think about.
I see. So, the prize waiting for you at the end is Nanako, and the prize waiting for Yosuke is the, the nurse magazine.
What's this about nurses?
Huh? You were harping on it the whole time. How can you stand there and constantly bash my taste in women with a straight face? Is it such a crime to like nurses?
It absolutely is not, even if they're the devil.
Wait a second.
I don't understand why he's suddenly angry, but he's not making any sense at all. I tell Yosuke to calm down and we go over what he thought had happened before the fight. We learned that our memories of what each of us had been saying didn't match up at all. According to Yosuke, it seems I had been, well, teasing him about his taste in women. Yosuke was so heated up over what I supposedly said that he almost went into graphic detail, but I stopped him before things went too far. I mean, really, it's best for both of us if we pretended this had never happened. But thanks to our conversation after the battle, I've come to realize something. If we'd been hearing each other say things neither of us had been meaning to say, then...
Yosuke, let me ask you something. Is it true that Nanako is here in this world?
She is?
Yosuke is at a loss for words. He had no idea what I was talking about. It's just as I thought. Yosuke doesn't know anything about Nanako. If that's true, then what I heard Yosuke saying before the fight was something that Yosuke couldn't possibly have said. This only makes me more convinced that I have the right idea. What I had heard wasn't what Yosuke had meant to say. Or, even better, what you had heard wasn't what Yosuke said, period. Like, I don't think intention is what's being altered here. I don't know how, but something else had made Yosuke say those words even if he didn't know he was saying them. That reminds me, Teddy on the screen said that I need to get to him if I wanted to find out the truth. Does that mean that Teddy had done this to us?
I guess there's no choice but to keep going.
Nanako was good friends with Teddy. I don't want to imagine it happening, but if Teddy had wanted to kidnap Nanako, it's certainly possible he could have. I want to go home at once and check to make sure she's okay, but I have no idea where I am. Even worse, Teddy holds the means of returning to the real world. There's no way out of here unless I find Teddy on my own.
Taking off?
Yeah.
Well, be careful.
Be careful. I'm worried about you. Do your best. Sense a lot of emotions behind those words. Yes, I know now that I'm hearing the real Yosuke. Take Yosuke's cheering me on to heart and leave the music room. Teddy had said only the winner could go in this tournament. I don't know exactly what that means, but it's probably not a lie. Yosuke understands that as well. That's why he's trusting me to sort it all out and lets me go without much talk. He's frustrated that he can't help me out. I could just be jumping to conclusions there. After all, Teddy did say that was the rule, but we don't have any proof either way. Might as well see what he meant by that. I stop walking and turn back to Yosuke.
Oh, one last thing. About those nurses.
Quit it already! Are you out of your mind again?
Yosuke turns bright red and rushes towards me, failing wildly in an attempt to stop me from finishing. And... there's a painful sounding noise as he runs into something invisible and slowly slides to the floor.
What is this?
So there's an invisible wall. Looks like the loser can't leave the room.
Looks like there's some force that prevents the loser from leaving the area where the fight took place. You think? Come on. Just tell me once. It's likely that every time one of those battles happens here, the winners will get sorted out this way. That's annoying.
I see how it works now. Thanks.
If Teddy really has kidnapped Nanako, then there's no time to lose.
Don't use me as your guinea pig. Wait, that's it? Hey, don't wear yourself out, all right?
I turn away as Yosuke shouts at me. Not to worry, Yosuke. I gave him a quick smile before leaving the area for real this time. Yosuke had it coming. What's this? At that moment, I feel a wave of disorientation crash over me. I'm surprised that this is happening without warning, but it's not a threat. After all, I know this feeling too well.
Welcome to the Velvet Room.
I had been leaving the music room, but now I am sitting in the Velvet Room for some reason. Margaret greets me with her usual smile. This room truly is mysterious. But why would she summon me like this? Margaret sees my suspicious expression and speaks up.
Things have only just begun, and yet you already seem tired. The misfortune that has befallen you can be thought of as a sort of trial.
A trial?
I want to know the details behind her words, but I know that she won't answer me even if I ask. The inhabitants of the Velvet Room never reveal anything. That's because they can only watch over the choices their guests make. Hey, Margaret, while I'm here, you couldn't possibly let me switch my persona out. You still got Lucifer? I could go for a Lucifer right now. Margaret's smile broadens when she sees that I don't intend to ask her anything.
Indeed. I am an observer on your journey. I would do nothing so thoughtless as to force you to make choices. You do not need such provocations. I already know that you shine brilliantly enough.
This shine she speaks of. Could it be about my ability to use personas?
Yes, that is part of your brilliance. Personas are masks of resolution, strengthened by controlling one's heart, by forming bonds. You understand this well, don't you?
Yeah, that's how we all fought up till now.
Yes, indeed. But one's heart is intangible. It cannot be seen and cannot be felt. When polished, it releases a strong light unlike anything else. But it can also be clouded by trivial things. Have you ever felt that way?
Ooh, a choice. I'm sure it's, like, not important. Well, if she's saying it, it must be true.
You may be more conscious of that fact than most, because you hold the power of the wild card.
Margaret's voice fades away even as she answers me.
From here on, you will be forced to re-examine the things you know as bonds. How will you face the changes to come, and what choices will you make?
When I open my eyes again, I am in the school's hallway. Wait, why am I in the school's hallway? The music room was in the annex. This is very clearly, this is very clearly the second floor of the classroom wing. I've been wandering around for a while, it would seem. I turn around and see the door to the music room closed, but no, you don't. Was I only summoned to the Velvet Room in spirit? You were always only summoned to the Velvet Room in spirit. You didn't figure that out in the last game? There's no way for me to figure out what just happened, but I think back on what Margaret had told me.
The changes, huh?
Even though the people of the Velvet Room avoid saying much, what little they do have to say always has meaning. Yeah, it's not even the right floor. You're on the second floor, the music room's on the first, in a different building. Well, it's true that Margaret has said some strange things while I've known her, but she's never actually said anything meaningless while on duty. I would assume that this would be the case now. I may have to keep her words to heart. In any case, I need to concentrate on this case for now. I'm sure I'll understand the meaning behind what you said when the time comes. I must proceed. Though this bizarre place looks nothing like the Yasogami High I attended, the building seems strangely familiar as I run through it. No, it doesn't. Teddy had appeared on the monitor in the music room. From the looks of things, he appeared to be behind what was happening. But I heard Risei's voice over the school's PA system before my fight with Yosuke. If this school works anything like the real one, I can make a good guess as to where Teddy and Risei are.
It might be the announcement room.
But of course, things aren't that easy. Those invisible walls keep getting in my way wherever I go. It seems that some of these walls don't let anybody through, no matter if they won or lost their fights. Every single time I run into one, I am forced to take another path. It's probably funneling me toward Chie if it's like proceeding in the same order as the main game. It's like my route is already set for me.
I feel like I'm being led somewhere.
I stop for a moment in the hallway out of the practice building and mutter to myself while I take a look around. Where are they trying to lead me? At that moment,
Hey, you there! You're one of them participants in that there Grand Prix thing, right?
a voice that I don't recognize at all breaks me from my reverie. I instinctively jump back and draw my sword in surprise.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! What's the big idea? You could poke someone's eye out swinging that thing around.
No, it is not a Red Ryder BB gun. It's perfectly safe. I turn and see a girl I'd never seen before. Was she part of that crowd? No, she looks like a real person. She was caught by surprise when I suddenly pointed my weapon at her. Although she flinches, her words don't lose any of their intensity. How bold of her. That may seem like an odd thing to say, but it's what suddenly crosses my mind. But this girl doesn't seem to have any intention of attacking me. I sheath my sword, but remain cautious.
Sorry, I didn't mean to startle you.
Sorry ain't gonna cut it. What were you gonna do if you hurt one of the students here, huh? You can't go pulling that stuff without student council approval. All right, the jig is up. I'm putting the kibosh on this tournament right now.
Hey, wait, hold on a second. I'm not in this because I want to be. I'm trying to stop the tournament.
I'm trying to act non-threatening, but the girl continues to glare at me. Who in the world is this girl? She's wearing a Yasogami High uniform. She said something about the student council, but I don't recognize her. You don't encounter people here in that world that often. Be a real shame if the student council got mad, you feel me? You don't encounter people in this world that often. If a person is here, they're either a persona user.
Why are you here, by the way? Wait, did you fall inside a TV?
That's right. I might have put it a little differently, but if she can't enter a TV herself, the only possibility is that someone threw her in. That was what was happening in the murders from last year.
All inside a TV? What kind of nonsense is that?
She's not aware of it. But if she were a persona user, I don't see why she'd hide that fact. If she was trying to keep that from me, then she wouldn't have had to come talk to me like this. Then what does that mean? Does that mean she's a victim after all? I carefully choose my words to avoid provoking the girl and introduce myself.
I'm Yu Narukami. I was a second year at Yasogami High until last year.
Huh? Last year? But that uniform.
Oh no, this is, kind of my usual equipment when I'm in the TV world.
Equipment?
Never mind. Forget it.
Well, if you were only around till last year, I ain't gonna blame you for not knowing. I'm the new student council president. Nice meeting you.
The student council president. If I'm remembering correctly, the student council elections should have taken place just before the holidays. I have no knowledge of who won any of the elections since I'd left Inaba before they took place. That reminds me, I didn't have any friends in the student council last year either. This girl may very well be president. No reason not to believe her.
Now it's your turn to spill. You said you ain't in the tournament because you want to be. Then what are you doing here? And what's this tournament about in the first place?
I feel that if I don't explain things very clearly to her, it will only provoke her further. But trying to tell her everything about what's going on here will only confuse her. I leave out the fact that this place is inside a television and tell her about the other things that are going on. First, I tell her about Teddy, that a friend of mine is likely the one who set up this tournament. Second, that I encountered some of my friends who were dragged into this as well, but they were acting strangely. And third, that my cousin, Nanako, still in elementary school, may have been dragged into this mess. The girl calling herself the student council president seems skeptical while I talk, but eventually she sighs.
So if I got this right, you didn't start this, but your friend did. Well, you don't seem like you're lying.
It seems that she somehow grasped the gist of what I was trying to say. I thanked her out of politeness, but she laughs and asks why I'm thanking her. There's still one more difficult task left at hand. How do I make her understand that all of this is within another world, one accessed by going through a TV screen? She still appears to be energetic, but it doesn't change the fact that she's in danger. I have to get her out of this world no matter what. I fail to see the difference in this.
Hey, that sounded like it came from the gym.
Yep, no, I'd buy that Chie's waiting in the gym.
I ought to tell you to go home, but I get that you're worried about your sis. Come on, let's go check it out.
We both start running at the same time. I reach my full running speed when something occurs to me. I'm surprised to see this Miss President keep pace right beside me. Just standing still in this world would be strenuous for a normal person, but she doesn't even seem to be out of breath. She's quite impressive. I take a moment to quietly praise the girl running next to me. We burst into the gym where the noise came from. But there's no one here. I mean, the red eyes are kind of a giveaway. Instead, we see huge piles of stacked chairs. They're twisted and intertwined everywhere on the open floor of the gym, forming huge towers that reach almost to the ceiling.
What is this? Who'd go to all this trouble?
The girl stares up at the chairs, seemingly dumbfounded. Suddenly, the monitor in the gym flickers to life. And as I expected, Teddy appears again in that costume.
Oh, are you on a hot date, Sensei?
I'm always on a hot date, Teddy.
Well, that's fine with me, of course. But shouldn't you keep your mind on the fighting? Wow, you look so mortified. That's the face I was hoping to see.
He's not saying anything completely straight, but he's obviously hinting that he knows I'm worried about Nanako. I know that saving Nanako is important, but I can't leave Miss President here alone and abandon her to this world either. Still, I feel Teddy's words causing me to doubt myself, and Miss President raises her voice.
Hey, you! You're the ringleader of this mess, aren't you? What's the idea? Raising a ruckus like this without running it by the student council. Pack it in and clean all this up already.
She speaks as fast and clearly as she had when I first met her. After getting a clear look at her, I feel like I've come to realize where she gets her courage from. She truly wishes to protect her school. Her strong awareness of her duties surpassing her fear. But Teddy, on the monitor, looks annoyed and sneers at Miss President. It's incredibly detestable. I can't believe that Teddy can even make such a malicious expression.
What's that tiny thing? I'm in the middle of an important conversation with Sensei. A yappy little nut like you should be muzzled and sit in the corner. Sit, puppy, sit!
He has absolutely no intention of dealing with her seriously. Miss President turns bright red in humiliation from being brushed off like that. This is enough. I take a step forward to put myself between the monitor and Miss President.
I'll take it from here. It's all right. There's nothing to worry about.
Miss President's lips are trembling. She must be angry that there's nothing she can do herself. I don't want to let those feelings continue, so I turn to face the Teddy on the monitor.
That was pretty harsh, Teddy. Hard to believe a womanizer like you would say such things.
What's so attractive about a shameless liar like her?
Liar? Do you know something about her?
The way he said that makes it sound like as if there's some history between the two of them. But as usual, he doesn't bother to give any details in his answer.
Come on, Sensei. Your opponent's getting tired of waiting for you. With the next challenger, come on down!
After that line, another cloud of smoke rises from the floor. But this time, it is Yukiko who appears.
Oh, thank goodness you're safe. What's the matter?
It's nothing. Are you alright? Has anything odd happened to you?
Odd? No, I don't think so.
Yukiko seems alarmed, to see me in a defensive posture. You know what your opening line should have been, Sensei? To tell Yukiko that, you know, that something is interfering with your conversations. I mean, just throwing that out there. I feel my shoulders relax in relief as I shift my weight to stand normally. It seems that she hasn't been affected like Yosuke had. So am I going to lose like am I going to lose a rank in the social link because she sees me with another girl? I mean, I want to say the fact that she reacted directly to a word I said indicates that the interference hasn't started yet, so it might be possible to slip it in the beginning. Maybe? I don't think I'd been that tense, though. Now that's the Yukiko I remember. She's as sharp as always, exactly when we need her. If she's not being confused, then I can immediately ask for her help.
Asphincter says what?
I try to explain what I need from her. Teddy, think of something? Yeah.
Nanako might be in here. I'm heading to the announcement room where Teddy is. I need you to protect this girl for me. She might be a victim of all this.
I motion toward Miss President standing next to me. Yukiko looks at me in surprise. I don't blame her, though. But what Yukiko said next was even more surprising.
Why do I have to do that? It's not like I know her or anything.
I'm not going to help her because I don't know her? Is that really what she's saying? I can understand that she might be cautious when meeting someone for the first time, but would Yukiko think that way? That's your objection, you? Not, they go to the same school, they should know who each other are? It's got to be the same as with Yosuke. That same uncanny sense of wrongness is coming back to me when I hear Yukiko speak.
Yukiko, not you too. Calm down and listen to me. Can you understand what I'm saying?
Huh? What are you saying all of a sudden? I can hear you clearly. What did you mean by you too?
When I try to question her, Yukiko's expression returns to normal. I can't tell anymore. She doesn't look like she's being controlled by someone. Am I overthinking this too much? At the very least, she doesn't even seem enthusiastic about this P1 Grand Prix.
This is probably a trick the enemy is playing on us. They're trying to get us to fight each other. I'll say it one more time, Yukiko. I'd like you to protect this girl for me.
Or I will kill you.
Sorry, but I don't know how to put this. It just feels like you're being really selfish. You always help people who have nothing to do with you, and I admire that. But where does that leave us? It's always your friends who get put in danger because of your self-centeredness.
I'm used to hearing her voice, but her words are scathing. I'm convinced now. There's no obvious change in her attitude like there had been with Yosuke, but something must be warping Yukiko's words too. Her words may seem like a sound argument, but she means something else. Passing it forward, eh? I don't care if someone who isn't related to me gets hurt. That's definitely not something Yukiko would say. The real Yukiko would never say something that disrespects the value of a life that way. Don't be deluded. Whatever happened to Yosuke is happening to Yukiko too. I don't understand the details, but Yukiko hasn't had a complete change of heart.
Yukiko.
What the? You could?
When I draw my sword, Miss President quickly tries to stop me. But I can't answer her right now. If a battle will clear up this pointless misunderstanding between us, then the time to fight is now.
Ooh, now that's our senpai. You'll show no mercy, not even to a girl if it's for your own goals. You're a real bastard with a sister complex. Keep it up and bring 'em all down.
I ignore the taunts being delivered in Rise's voice. Even if our words aren't getting through to each other and we have to fight without understanding what's going on, we'll come to an understanding later. I have to believe, both myself and my friends. I hold my sword to the side to protect Miss President, who is standing behind me.
Sorry, but you need to stay back. Whatever you see here, try to stay calm. Promise me you won't run away.
Because you're next. What happens next will probably surprise her greatly, but I doubt Miss President will run away. She's already shown me how strong her determination is. Like, do we really have to, like, do the redacted with Miss President? She's on the box art. I glance at her over my shoulder. Although she looks worried, she still gives me a slight nod of agreement. Now, time to do this. I do not feel like, from her perspective, this would be a very motivated fight. I must end this as quickly as possible.
Persona!
I concentrate all my senses to summon the strength of heart. My persona is on Izanagi. If I allow myself to go easy on Yukiko, she will surely defeat me. Yukiko smiles faintly and takes her battle stance. She resisted the idea of protecting Miss President, but she seems to have no qualms whatsoever about fighting me. There's definitely something else controlling her. Maybe there's something controlling you.
Come, Konohana Sakuya.
That's not the persona I left you with. Yukiko's black hair forms graceful arcs in the air as her persona, Konohana Sakuya, rises behind her, or Risei's behind her. That's right. Usually Yukiko should have had a beautiful heart like this. In the meta sense of me being the player, but yeah, that's kind of something. It's kind of a problem with sequels. You know, it's like, you know, in The Answer, everybody had their advanced persona, but they got that as in story events rather than by completing their social links. So in The Answer, everybody was guaranteed supposed to be on their second persona. Whereas in this, maybe you did it, but like so long as Persona 4 wasn't your first ever Persona game, there was plenty of time to rank everyone up. Wait for me. I will save you. Alright, so after an hour and 45 minutes, we are on our second fight. Wonder why nobody knows what Yu's date of birth is.
You just have to understand what's taking us stage. One side, getting to dominate. Oh, they're leading to down. Can they push through?
Easy on.
This is one side battle. Go for it. Dominate. I think they dispose of you in this side of the stage. Oh, an awakening. Will this turn the tables? Will it all be over in moments?
What? Easy on.
Has the battle been decided? Guys, awaken! This could go either way. What? Anyone's battle now. Persona's been destroyed. Now, will they go for the kill? Such total reversal. What a miraculous victory.
Well, I couldn't. Because I need my persona to do the auto combo. The next fight's going to be pretty rough, but I don't think we'll get to it before the stream's over, so it's okay.
The winner
curiosity! These cocky, self-righteous friends showing how they really feel by beating the crap out of each other.
That was literally the 10th social link rank of Yosuke, was us just beating on each other for no reason. Because that's just the kind of person Yosuke is, I guess.
That's the real thrill of the P1 Grand Prix!
I don't care to hear any more of Teddy's jests. I still have reservations about fighting against my friends, but I now know that there is no other way to save them. I'm resolved to do what must be done. Also, there's no knowing if Teddy and Rise have been affected just like Yosuke and Yukiko had. They sure as hell sound affected. If they are, then there's no use in trying to talk to them through the monitor like this. That's the conclusion I've come to, but its president seems to have other ideas.
How much further are you gonna push this? Why are you doing it anyway? These guys are friends! What's so much fun about making friends fight each other?
Ms. President vents her frustration at Teddy's image on the monitor. But I was a bit surprised at how she worded it. She seemed more upset that he was making the friends fight each other, not why he had dragged the entire school into this mess. We've only just met, but she clearly sympathizes with us and understands the pain we're going through. I'm embarrassed, but proud at the same time. A girl with such compassion would be a great student council president. It's no wonder she was elected to represent the student body at Yasogami High.
It's alright. Thanks, though.
It's not alright! This is...
She's still worked up and she lashes out at me. Perhaps her heart is a little too honest. But her anger sets my mind at ease. She's right. What General Teddy is doing right now cannot be forgiven. I glare at the monitor.
Sorry, but you're not getting your wish.
What?
Did you think this would be all it took to break us apart? That it would make us hate each other? Sorry to say, but that's a huge mistake on your part. I believe in my friends. They'll never get taken in like that.
You're so stupid! What kind of sensei are you?
I'm warning you now. If you really are Teddy, then we'll get you back to normal no matter what it takes. Even if it costs us our lives. But if you're an imposter, hiding behind Teddy's face, I will make you pay for toying with us.
Teddy scoffs and turns around. The monitor switches off suddenly. Suddenly turning on us without any signs of remorse. That's not like Teddy at all. No, he's most likely not the real Teddy. Seeing the anger on his face only strengthens my suspicions. Someone must be taking Teddy's form to make it look like he's the one committing these acts.
That girl's come around.
I immediately rush to Yukiko's side.
Yukiko, are you alright? I'm sorry I couldn't go easy on you.
Oh, I thought you'd just give me both options then.
No, it's okay. You aren't your usual self, but I could tell by your eyes that there was something going on. I'm sorry too. Did I hurt you?
Kinda, yeah. I sure wouldn't want to get into it with you again.
I try to pass it off as a joke, and we look at each other and laugh. Things are going the same way they had with Yosuke. It's becoming clear now.
Hey, did I say things that offended you earlier?
Yes. You did.
Yukiko hesitates, as if even remembering it is the difficult experience. What in the world did my illusions say to her? I bet it was something horrible. Whoever's doing this is certainly finding the most annoying way of getting us to fight. But what I supposedly said to her doesn't matter. Yukiko is still hesitant to bring it up, so I tell her not to worry about it.
I don't need to know what I said. I just wanted to see if my guess was right. It looks like our enemy has the power to confuse our senses. My first opponent was Yosuke, and he told me a similar story after we fought.
Huh? You said something bad to Yosuke-kun too? What did you tell him?
Keep that to yourself, you.
You sure you want to know?
I'm the only one admitting to what happened. That's not fair, is it? But that curiosity is in line with the Yukiko I know. I evade the issue with a smile and call out to Ms. President, who's standing behind us.
What kind of people are you? Oh, right. We used our personas.
Yeah, we should at least explain to her what's going on.
She did see everything that just happened. This would be a good opportunity to tell her everything. I introduce Miss President and Yukiko to each other and then fill in the parts that I had left out of my previous explanation. I tell her about the personas. I tell her that we're actually in a world inside the television. Consistency, man, come on. And I tell her how the scenery here changes according to the hearts of the people who enter it. She looks doubtful while I'm talking, but considering that she's just seen her personas only moments ago, she doesn't immediately deny it. Still, it seems that she can't accept it all either. She crosses her arms as if lost in thought. On the other hand, it seems that Yukiko didn't know that Yasogami High had a new student council president either. Yukiko apologizes for not having paid attention to the elections in April.
And that's it in a nutshell.
So, that's what you meant by falling into a TV.
Yeah, which makes me believe this school could be a part of your mind that's materialized.
This school came from me? That's a lot to swallow. I'm not surprised. Why is it different this time around, though? Usually the victim's shadow appears first.
That's right. I had my doubts about that too. There's a reason why it's dangerous for people who can't use their personas to enter this world. Besides the obvious reasons, such as not being able to escape and being unable to protect themselves from shadows, a person's shadow separates from them. The shadows that split off are strongly attached to the original people they came from and will try to harm them to try to become independent identities. I hadn't given it much thought, but since Miss President seems so energetic, it is still possible that this has happened to her as well. I put this together with a conversation I had with Teddy a moment ago and come to a conclusion.
The Teddy who's hosting this tournament. What if he's actually this girl's shadow?
Huh?
I noticed he got agitated when I called him an imposter. A fake Teddy would mean he's someone else using Teddy's form.
I see. If this place reflects Miss President's heart, her shadow must be here. And right now, the strongest candidate is...
That's right. If we both saw an illusion, then at the very least the enemy has the power to delude our senses and make us see and hear things that aren't there. On top of that, it can alter what others hear us say and see us do. If it can do that, then I can easily see that our enemy can use that power to change its appearance. That means it could be impersonating Teddy and leading this tournament. That still leaves the question as to why it would take on the appearance of someone it doesn't know. So I'm thinking that, like, the real student council president is Kanji and, like, nobody paid attention to, like, this really important moment in his life. That's going to be the big reveal. I've seen shadows in the past that took on bizarre appearances, but this is the first time I've seen one impersonate an existing person. Does this shadow have some kind of objective? When I came to my senses, I see that Miss President has turned pale and is staring down at the ground. All this talk of shadows in another world doesn't seem to be reaching her, but she seems troubled at the thought that she might be causing all this trouble. I'm about to tell her that the actions of her shadow aren't her fault, but Miss President rises to her feet, which obviously prevents me from talking.
I'm gonna check out the announcement room. That General Teddy's behind the whole shebang, right? And if he came from me, then I gotta own up to the responsibility. A student body president, I can't let this go.
Wait, you're being reckless. We'll take care of the shadow. You need to...
What? Get out of this TV world? And how am I supposed to do that? Go on. Show me the door.
Well...
Her eyes are filled with the fires of determination, just as they had been when I first met her. Her sense of responsibility and her awareness of her duties say that she will never back down.
Your little cousin's in the announcement room. And you're gonna go save her, right? I might not be as strong as the two of you, but I'm no slouch in a fight. Wouldn't it be better if we went together?
No, don't you understand? This world is...
I know it's dangerous, but there's gotta be something only I can do to help. Hell, that aside, I can't leave after causing so much trouble. Making friends fight each other. I'm going on ahead. You don't want to waste time arguing, yeah?
Miss President declares this in a voice that brooks no argument and takes off running. Yikes. I wasn't expecting her to behave rashly like this. I remember how fast she can run. If I'm going to go after her, I need to go at once or I'll lose her.
Please, you have to go after her.
Yukiko sees me hesitate and knows exactly what to say. She's right. There's so much we don't understand, but there's no way the investigation team can let a victim run off to die. Yukiko ignores the fact that I'd be leaving her here alone and tells me to follow a girl who she's only just met. This is the exact opposite of the behavior she'd been displaying before the fight. Now that is the Yukiko Amagi I know. I'm ashamed I had even slightly let myself be confused by the way I had heard her speak before, and I answered her. This is clearly the cool action hero line. I'll come back for you, no matter what.
I believe in you.
Yukiko nods to me, and then I turn and begin running as fast as I can. I have to rely on the faint echoes of footsteps ahead to pursue Miss President through the school. I can't use my memories of the school in order to navigate because the invisible walls are everywhere. But the announcement room is upstairs. That obviously limits the paths that she can take. I will catch up with her no matter what. I've been running after Miss President for a while, but I still can't catch sight of her. The school is not that big. She's so fast, it's almost supernatural. I even begin to think her path may not be hindered by the invisible walls. Wait a second. Now that I think about it, she's not a participant in the P1 Grand Prix. She didn't appear in the introduction video, and even though she'd been here when I faced off with Yukiko, she wasn't affected by the rules. Could she be able to walk through these walls? If so, then catching up to her would be quite difficult. Just as I'm thinking this, suddenly a blue door appears in my path. I've seen this before. This is the entrance to the Velvet Room. I don't have time to deal with this, or so I think. But when I consider the timing of its appearance, I can't help but feel that there must be a reason for it. I make up my mind and reach for the door. As I walk through the door, I feel a slight sense of lightheadedness and close my eyes reflexively. When I open my eyes, I'm seated in my usual position, and Margaret is smiling quietly at me as if nothing is different. So here's the thing that I've always wondered. Because there's always multiple doors to the Velvet Room. But it always returns you, I suppose for gameplay reasons, it always returns you to the door you enter through it from. But, theoretically, couldn't he just leave and go to the, go to the mall instead? Or could new doors be generated to, like, defeat the invisible walls, and he can just use the Velvet Room to jump from part of the dungeon to part of the dungeon? When she sees that I've noticed her, she speaks as if aware of my impatience. I mean, they can pull me into it from anywhere, so long as I'm asleep. Like, my location doesn't really seem to matter. Like, and we can only access it through the door when we're awake. But if the idea that the Velvet Room isn't actually like a physical, a liminal space, and that every time you touch the door, you zone out and you're just standing right there, you haven't actually moved, then you could only return to where you were before. But if that's not the case, this is a instantaneous transportation device. Yeah, something like that. When she sees that I've noticed her, she speaks as if aware of my impatience.
You seem flustered, but time has no meaning here.
Margaret politely points this out, knowing that I'm in a hurry. Time is meaningless, huh? I thought I had figured out a few things about this room, but it seems that there's still more for me to learn about. If time doesn't pass while I'm in this room, then I should concentrate on what she's about to tell me. Once again, as if reading my thoughts, Margaret smiles.
It seems you've emerged victorious and have come away with a piece of the truth. Though you are in a garden of deceit, you have the vision to go forward. Very impressive.
Is that student council president's shadow really the cause of all this, then?
Who can say? All I know is that you are getting ever closer to the truth. There is one thing I can tell you.
Margaret's golden eyes are fixed on mine.
If that girl's shadow is the cause of this misfortune, she will face her trial. But it's separate from your fate. You have your own trial to overcome. Keep that to heart.
My own trial?
I didn't mean to, but I repeat what Margaret had just said. I didn't mean to, but I commented on me repeating what Margaret had just said.
Everyone sees various things in you that draw them to you. Salvation, hope. I myself find fascination in watching over you. Fate may not be the author of your trials, but you are destined to be tested.
Margaret smiles mischievously and nods towards me. Another slight feeling of lightheadedness passes, and I return to that otherworldly school. The blue door is nowhere to be found, as if it had never been there to begin with. I look up. I still don't understand what my own trial is supposed to be. But for some reason, my mind has cleared up a bit. Well, that served no purpose in the greater narrative. In any case, I need to keep chasing after Miss President. And now I immediately see a recognizable feature. Her long ponytail. I found her.
Wait! It's too dangerous to go alone.
Miss President turns around in response to my voice. She's smiling. I wasn't expecting that at all.
Calling me impressed that you managed to catch up to me so quick.
This calmness. Had she expected that I would follow her? I'm beginning to feel like she's toying with me. But I understand now. Nothing I can say to her will change her mind. There's no helping it then.
Promise me that you won't leave my side. And you can't do anything rash. If you can't agree to those terms, I'll have to force you into protective custody. This is a matter of life and death for you.
Sure thing. Then let's get to that announcement room together.
I thought that I'd be able to keep her in check by saying that her life was in danger, but she didn't seem to take any notice. She just shrugged and accepted my proposal. She's quite hard to deal with. I'm not sure if she knows how I'm feeling, but she speaks up.
Hey, mind if I ask you something?
What is it?
There's a moment of silence. Just as I'm about to ask her to go on, she goes on.
It's tough, being forced to fight your friends, huh? Oh, sorry. You don't gotta answer.
She must still be thinking about my fight with Yukiko. True, I'm slightly hesitant to talk about any of this, but it's a question that must be answered. Not a journey that must be answered, a question? Alright. That's how it feels to me.
No, you're right. If I could avoid it, I would. But I believe in my friends.
You mean your friends won't hate you after the fight? Or you think they'll understand that you don't really want to fight?
I don't know. Both, maybe. I mean, there's no way we'd fight each other without some kind of reason.
Does she believe that answer? I study Miss President's face. But when she opens her mouth, she has an unexpectedly gloomy look in her eyes.
What if you had to kill each other?
Kill each other? I truly hadn't anticipated that question. I'm caught off guard by how I hadn't even considered it. It's true, there's no guarantee that this General Teddy won't suddenly decide to make us fight to the death on a whim. Were you not there at the beginning of the Grand Prix? He very clearly stated that it was a fight to the death.
Huh. Sorry, that was probably over the line. I don't know why I said that.
I wouldn't let it happen.
Even if I was forced into such a situation, I would never follow that order. That's all I can say right now. Bullshit, you can say a lot. But after hearing my answer, Miss President casts her eyes down again. After seeing that behavior, how do I put this? Felt a sense of incongruity. Why could that be? Something doesn't feel like her. Could Miss President be carrying some unimaginable burden that she has yet to confide in us? Is it so heavy that she would ask that question of me? Speaking of which, if General Teddy does turn out to be your shadow, what does that mean about whatever repressed thoughts she truly has? I mean, yes, he's barely known her, but she's accepted his proposal. So really, that's on her. Suddenly, it seems like that her courageous and cheerful demeanor are a mirror image of that, and a slight sense of fear chills my spine. My thoughts race through my head while we walk down the hallway.
What are you doing?
I thought I broke my nose for a moment. It's that invisible wall again. Even though I should have been expecting them, I had relaxed my guard and walked right into one. I hold my nose and wave away Miss President, who looks concerned.
There's an invisible wall. I don't think I can go through here.
An invisible wall? Oh, that must have been why you broke out of the mime act every now and then. Well, if I can pass through, it must only be blocking the tournament fighters. This world sure is out there.
Miss President walks right through the place I had bumped into. So that must be the case. As I imagine, Miss President is unaffected by these walls. Is it because she's not one of the fighters in the Grand Prix? Of course, if General Teddy really is her shadow, maybe the normal rules don't apply to her. The entrance leading to the school building is ahead of us. But perhaps the worst of all is that there's the wall I just walked into who's blocking me from reaching there. I'll have to find some other way. No, there are walls there too. Well, that was quick. And the same can be said for the direction toward the entrance. A thought crosses my mind as I check back the way we had come. It is as I thought. Another invisible wall has formed where I had just passed, and I can't go back. With walls in every direction, there's nowhere I can go. I'm trapped. And if I can't go anywhere, this can mean only one thing.
Be careful. This probably means...
The moment I call out to Miss President, General Teddy appears on the monitor in the entryway. Means my third round in the P1 Grand Prix is about to begin.
Is your snout okay, Sensei? Jeez, you're such a klutz.
You're still using that form? It's getting old. Why don't you just show your true self?
Boy, you got peevish. I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
I was intentionally trying to rile him up, but he wasn't falling for it. It looks like I'm not going to get him to reveal anything that way. I quickly changed tactics.
Okay, so who's my next opponent?
Ooh, now you're getting into the spirit of things. Let me guess, you're starting to enjoy beating up your friends? Okay, with the next challenger, come on down!
The general doesn't pick up on my intention and loudly yells out what appears to be his pre-battle catchphrase. Smoke pours out. And who should appear from the smoke but the person I was expecting to see? 4 of us entered the TV together. I've already fought against Yosuke and Yukiko. Then...
That's what I thought. You're the last of us, after all.
Yeah, I had a feeling you'd be next, too.
This is our first indication that people have fought others. Chie laughs along with me. For the moment, there doesn't seem to be anything wrong with her words and actions, but I can't let my guard down around her. After all, I felt the same way when I encountered Yukiko, too. But as they say, third time's the charm. I have to see if Chie's in her right mind. I decided the best way to do that is to be calm and start a conversation with her.
Chie, you know what they're doing, right?
Before I can begin to explain, Chie cuts me off.
Yeah, I know. The stuff we say gets twisted around so we end up fighting each other, right? Don't worry. You're the son of a bitch who left us as soon as the last case ended, but you're still our good friend.
Yeah.
I mean, you have it easy. You're just fighting your friends. I want to keep killing over and over, all because of you humans!
Now this is obvious. Chie is clearly not herself. It's so blatant, the words don't offend me at all. Moreover, it's just out of character, but Chie would never say anything like that. And you humans? That's as good as confessing that you're not human. Oh right, carnivore was it? Miss President is watching us from nearby. She looks more dumbfounded than worried. Still, what Chie said at the end caught my attention. I had to keep killing over and over.
More stuff about killing, huh? Miss President was talking about it earlier, too. This must be.
It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. Hurts. Hurts.
Oh shit, we're fighting Gygus.
I'll give you a taste of the pain they put me through!
She's not even trying to sound like Chie anymore. I can't even begin to understand what she's talking about. But if a shadow is intentionally making people say these things, what did this mean about Miss President? Killing each other? All because of humans? What kind of secret past could the new student council president of Yasogami High be harboring? No, now's not the time for this. I'll have to look into this after we've cleared up all the confusion between us.
Let's do this, Chie.
I ignore her words and draw my sword. Immediately, Risei's voice echoes through the arena as if she was waiting for this.
Well, round 3 of the P1 Grand Prix already. Word on the street is that the carnivore may have a slight advantage. Will you, Senpai, all talk and no skill, manage to eke out a win this time?
I feel like I'm really being seen here.
Let's get this show on the road. Ready?
Gundam fight all set? Ready, go! Oh, we don't know Chie's weight, huh?
Finally.
Ever ask a carnivore her weight?
Looks like they're firing on awakening. Will this turn the tables?
There, my signature finishing move, the sweep. I've won. I lower my sword and begin slowing my breathing. I don't believe I've injured Chie too badly. Considering this was my 3rd time having to do this, I feel like I'm getting pretty good at not having to seriously wound people in a fight. So Yusuke's the most wounded, huh?
Smug look off
Good.
your face. This isn't fun at all.
General Teddy has seen the fights ended without any injuries and spits his words through the monitor. The image on the monitor then disappears without saying anything further. Let him say whatever he wants. I've thought all the friends I came into the TV with, and none of them are hurt. All that's left is to head to the announcement room and to make sure Nanako is safe. Then we'll be able to go home. I walk over to Chie and help her up off the ground. She's come back to her senses and seems a little sheepish. Oh, don't be a bastard, you. That is a great question.
I think so. Man, you're strong. I'm kind of shocked at how much of a difference there is between us.
Look who's talking. I've never been kicked around so badly in my life, except when Yukiko did it. I wait for Chie to reach her feet and tell her everything that's happened up to this point.
So the others are safe too? What a relief. I was pretty worried.
Chie is so relieved that she sits down on the floor once more. I can't help but smile at that reaction. She really does care about her friends. Yeah, these are people I believe in. Seeing us exchanging smiles like nothing was wrong, Miss President sounds perplexed when she speaks up.
You guys really are tight, aren't you? Makes me jealous.
Well, we did spend a whole lot of time together last year because of that case. Sure, I was surprised to hear such weird stuff coming from him, but I know he'd never say any of that to me. Wait a sec. Who are you?
Oh, I forgot about that. I quickly introduced Miss President to Chie that she may be a victim of this case. But Chie looks again at Miss President suspiciously.
Huh? The student council president? You mean ours? That doesn't seem right. I remember the new president being a guy.
What are you saying? I'm the student council president. Who else would I be?
I'm pretty sure, though. Maybe if you told me your name, I'd remember.
My name...
Wow, you really blew that one, didn't you? You just been wandering around with her. You never asked for a name. Miss President stops moving. What's going on? She can't tell us her name? That's not a strange question, is it? But for some reason, Miss President seems unable to answer. I sense some kind of incoherent melancholy from her. Chie and I share a tense glance.
My name's...
What's wrong?
My memories. No, I don't want to fight anymore. Why do we have to kill one another?
Kill one another. I gasp when I hear the words fall from her mouth. I don't know what's crossing her mind right now, but she's definitely not acting normally. I glance at Chie, then try to approach Miss President in the hopes of calming her down. Oh man, if that were me, Silver, I would do everything in my power to figure out their name without actually asking them because I would be too embarrassed to admit it. I have, not in that exact situation, but like that exact same kind of reaction has gotten me into so much trouble over the years, and I just can't shake it. That warning, Miss President begins flailing her arms as if trying to ward off demons that only she can see. Chie reaches out and touches her in concern. Miss President's arm catches Chie and easily knocks her aside.
Chie!
What power! I barely manage to catch Chie before she slams into the concrete wall. Still, the sudden breakdown. What in the world's happened to Miss President? Once I've helped Chie back to her feet, we carefully approach her from both sides. This will be a little rough, but it can't be helped. We can't ask her anything while she's like this. But at that moment...
What?
No way!
Before I know it, Miss President is flying through the air. She was jumping. For a moment, I can't comprehend what I'm seeing. This is no ordinary leap. Yeah, this is the double jump. Remember the tutorial? She was at a standstill, but now her entire body is suddenly up higher than my head. Her jumping ability is unbelievable. Oh, I know this one. You're secretly on the moon and there's no gravity. Wrong game. Gia and I look up in astonishment as Miss President kicks off the ceiling to change directions and lands at a full run.
Wow. Who is that girl? Did I say something to offend her? She did mention something about her memories.
Come to think of it, her memories did seem a little muddled. Maybe she was on the verge of getting them back.
What kind of memory would make her go nuts and run away like that?
I can't answer Chie at all. What if you had to kill each other? I hear Miss President's sad voice in my head. Chie apparently wasn't expecting me to answer her, and she continues.
I'll wait here. Make sure you rescue her, okay?
Her voice is strong and confident. To drive the point home, she pokes my chest with her finger, as if ordering me. Even though she might be in danger herself, she's worrying about others. All of my friends are like that. That makes me really happy right now. I ask Chie if she'll be alright on her own. She fires back. What, no? You're not gonna voice the line? Let me worry about that. I nod to her and begin running after Miss President once more. I will save her no matter what. Even though I was running as fast as I could, the invisible walls keep preventing me from making much headway. I attempted to strike back at the walls of my persona, but nothing happened.
So many invisible walls, one after another. Miss President can pass through them. I don't know if I can keep up the pursuit.
The announcement room is still my destination. There's no way to know if that's where Miss President is headed as well, but if there's a shadow waiting for me there, I'll need to get there anyway. Teddy and Rise should be in the announcement room, and if Nanaka's being held captive, that's where she'd be as well. I have to keep running, but yet another wall blocks the hallway. At first, I think this is a dead end. I realize that I can cut through a classroom and come out on the other side of the wall. It's forcing me to enter the room rather than letting me go straight. This probably means I brace myself and put a hand on the door. The moment I step inside, a familiar voice echoes in my mind.
Hi. Senpai! Can you hear me? Please answer me!
That voice. Is that you, Rise? The real one?
Her voice isn't coming from the PA system. I'm actually hearing it in my head. This has to be the work of Rise's persona.
Thank goodness. I've been all alone since that weird fake Teddy captured me. And then you were all fighting each other.
I can hear the relief in her voice. She sounds so different from the insensitive and rude voice that has been coming from the PA system. This is indeed the Rise I know.
Where are you now, Rise? Can you locate where I am?
I'm sorry, I don't think there's time. I'm stuck in the announcement room. Please, Senpai, you have to hurry. If you don't, he'll...
Rise! What's wrong, Rise?
There is no answer. Communication has been cut off. Has something happened in the announcement room? My heart begins racing. The enemy made us fight each other as participants in this tournament, but they had captured Rise as well. It's clear to me that they must have been worried about her using her persona's powers to tell us the truth, but that's not important right now. Oh no, I'm sure she's fine. She's in Persona 5. If she was just captured to prevent her from contacting us, then the enemy must think of Rise as being less valuable than those who had to fight. She sounded okay, but who knows what might happen to her now. I have to hurry.
Pardon me for interrupting while you are lost in thought.
A hand brushes my shoulder. In surprise, I jump away and draw my sword. I can't believe I had let myself get so lost in thought that I didn't notice someone until they touched me. This is the second time I've let myself get so distracted. I've gotten used to having my friends with me while I investigated last year. I can't pay attention to the entire world on my own. I need to brace myself. I look up and see another unfamiliar face. A girl with blonde hair and striking blue eyes. Wait, a girl? Her face and voice seem human-like, but the rest of her, there's metal everywhere, all over her body. For a moment, I wonder if this is just an elaborate costume, but I can see the interior framework of her body where her joints connect.
I didn't mean to startle you.
You're,
It's nice to meet you. My name is Aegis. And no, I am not human. You are the one from the introduction video, listed as the Sister Complex Kingpin of Steel, Narukami-san.
Quite
correct?
possibly. The question catches me off guard. I wasn't expecting a complete stranger to call me that. And did she say she wasn't human? It's, well, when Yosuke called me by that stupid title, I knew it was a joke. But when a stranger says it, it sounds like they truly believe it. I think it might be you. Mine's cranked all the way.
Nanako is
pain.
important to me, but calling it a complex is stretching things.
No, wait a second. I was trying to play it off, but ended up blurting out Nanako's name anyway. Calm down. I need to take this conversation away from this subject. I cleared my throat and tried to start over.
Aigis-san, was it? Why are you here?
Our primary objective is the destruction of shadows, but we have come to this world on a different mission.
The destruction of shadows?
She fights shadows? But how can she do that if...
And does that mean...
Yes, I have a persona as well. Though my body is a machine, personas are the strength of the heart after all.
Just as I thought. I'm surprised to find another Persona user outside of my group of friends, and a robot on top of that. I can't come to grips with all of this. From the way we were talking, she seems just like a normal person, only in an interesting suit. True, I've seen stories on the news about robots looking uncannily like real humans. But isn't something like this far beyond those? Still, I can't help but believe the evidence of my own eyes. I mean, I've been hopping in and out of TVs for the past year. Who am I to say what's strange or not? Perhaps the technology behind her creation has a supernatural root of its own. I find myself growing more and more interested in how she came to be here, but I have to put that aside for now. There's something I need to find out from her first. This P1 Grand Prix. It's so similar to the events of last year, but to think that it would involve someone like her. I don't have a clear picture of everything that's happening, that's for sure. I calm myself, then ask her what I feel would tell me what she's doing in this world.
And what is this mission of yours?
She opens her mouth to respond, but just then... the monitor inside the classroom turns on. It's at that moment that I suddenly remember. It's likely that I'm going to have to fight here. I had forgotten about sensing that when I entered the room.
Aha! So that's where you got to, Sensei. I've been looking all over for you. Ooh, who's the honey? Were you in the middle of trying to score with her?
As if you didn't know. You're the one who lured us both here.
Oh my, did you figure it out? I didn't have a choice after those guys decided on their own to horn in on the fun. You're a bright boy, Sensei. You know what's coming next, don't you?
The general on the monitor gives me a twisted smile. Could Aegis-san's mission be something that would cause him trouble? I can't figure out what his motives are, but he's using us to crush each other. In other words, she's the next challenger that's being set against me. Aegis-san seems to understand this as well and is staring at the monitor with a quiet animosity.
Sorry about this. Do you know the rule of this tournament?
Only the victor of each match may move on. Yes?
I have nothing against you, but I'm in a hurry for my own reasons.
Neither of us, in other words, can back down. Then there should be no hard feelings.
Aegis-san is refreshingly straightforward about this. She immediately takes a fighting stance. A bitter thought comes to me. It's tough being forced to fight my friends, but for some reason having to hurt someone that I don't even know is tougher. So, I would hazard a guess that other members of SEAS were who Chie was fighting. Another thought comes on the heels of that one. I don't know this girl. Perhaps her appearance here means that there are urgent problems that any ordinary student like me can't fathom. What gives me the right to stop her on her mission? Shouldn't I know what's at stake before I take that from her? Thankfully, it seems that she hasn't gone mad like my other friends. Perhaps the enemy doesn't care about clouding the minds of people who don't know each other. If we're still capable of understanding each other, then we should talk this over before we do anything.
That will not do. We will speak more of this after one of us wins.
Aige-san says, say this so quickly? It's as if she's reading my mind. For a moment, I'm struck by how she could have known what I was thinking, but I realize that she's right. What good would it do for us to talk things over? True, the loser cannot leave this room, but until we have a battle, neither one of us is going anywhere. It doesn't really matter if we come to an understanding or not. Until we have our fight, none of our goals are going to be accomplished. If that's the case, then it's better we don't hear about each other's problems before. Just fucking fight! That could be why Aige-san hasn't told me anything. This must be her version of kindness. I silently readied my sword even though it caused a sound effect. Aige-san appears to smile slightly when I do. Right. I'm not going to give up on what I'm fighting for either. I need Nanako and my friends to be safe. And I have to make sure that Miss President is okay. I will use everything I can to protect them. To thank her for her consideration, I make it a point to announce that I'm ready to start the fight.
And here goes. There's no need to hold back.
Indeed. Let us do battle.
Hey, we did get an extra fight in after all. Oh, she's using Athena, not Orpheus.
Severe impact, less damage.
Alright, do you take extra damage from,
Severe impact, less damage. Fire. Limiting. Light damage. Downward. Severe no. Ready. Go. Quick back. Damage. Light damage. Volley. Damage. Bramble. Fire. Firing. No escape. Over. Up. Down. Severe impact. Shield zone. Loading function. Shutting down.
Wonder if she takes extra damage from electricity.
Wowza! Now that's the sensei I know! That hunk of junk was no match for you! Serves you right! Keep suffering! Friend against friend, beating the heck out of each other!
A machine with the power of a persona. She was made to fight shadows, but I had no idea what she was capable of. I feel like my mind's been drained even more than my body. It angers me to see that the general is watching over us with an expression of joy, as if we were some performers for his amusement. Do I look like a clown? Do I amuse you? I look up and glare at the monitor.
I don't know why you're making us fight, but it's pointless. We aren't fighting because we hate each other. The reason we can fight is because we respect and trust each other.
A low growl. That's the only sound I hear. The real Teddy's never made such a hateful sound. It's actually rather scary.
Stupid! You're such a dumbass! What's with you?
The image on the monitor distorts along with that outburst. The general is having trouble remembering to act as someone else, and his face bulges and ripples disturbingly as his hate pours through the screen. Any pretense at copying the adorable stupidity of the real Teddy is gone now. I notice that the voice spitting out these hateful words is not Teddy's either.
Respect? Trust? So what if you don't hate each other? You're not like me!
Oh, I have to attack you now. He said the magic words.
I was forced to fight against my will! I destroyed them with my own hands! You should all have to go through the hell I've suffered! See how it feels to destroy everyone you call a friend! If I knew this was gonna happen, I would have made the rules so you had to kill your opponent to move on!
You did make those the rules. I don't know why you're not enforcing them. The general on the monitor continues to rage.
What are you talking about? Why did you set this tournament up?
The moment I say that, I feel all the dots have become connected. When Miss President had asked out of the blue if we were going to be forced to kill each other, that ominous muttering of killing one another, were these both something that had directly come from her past? Maybe she had been forced to fight against people she didn't want to fight. Had she been forced to destroy something that was precious to her? There's no way to know for sure, but it's possible. Considering this, it kind of explains why her shadow would have created a tournament like this. That is, she wanted us to feel what she had went through. I might not be entirely correct, but I feel like I am close to the truth. Should I just ask General Teddy about my suspicions? But as I am considering raising my voice...
Pardon my eccentric entrance.
What?
Someone comes crashing through the ceiling. What in the world? It sounded like Elizabeth. I rush over to Aiga-san to protect her from the falling debris. When I look up, I see a young woman emerge from the cloud of dust. While not as strange as Aiga, she seems a little uncommon as well. But aside from that, why did she have to come through the ceiling? This room has doors. It makes no sense at all. I had been about to get to the heart of the matter with General Teddy, but the monitor in this room has been destroyed, along with the ceiling. Though she seems oblivious to my confusion, the girl cocks her head and apologizes again.
Oh, please excuse me. I didn't have the faintest idea that someone would be here.
Faintest?
Fame? Fiend? Something along those lines at any rate.
What the hell is she talking about? Who in the world is this person? Wait a second. That blue suit she's wearing, it looks familiar. And with that silver hair and golden eyes. Could it be?
Are you from the Velvet Room?
My, is this what's known as being hit on?
You know very well what being hit on looks like.
A forbidden ritual where one human approaches another based solely on appearance and bets on the inner self being equally attractive.
What? No, I'm not hitting on you. You just remind me of someone I know.
Okay, so that actually sounded like I really was hitting on her. No, I need to stop thinking about that. In any case, I need to ask her something.
Do you happen to know anyone by the name of Margaret?
Margaret?
When she repeats the name, her face seems surprisingly youthful. I had been taken aback by her bizarre speech and actions. But could this girl be younger than me? Her profile simultaneously evokes the images of a pondering philosopher and an innocent girl. I can't figure out exactly how to speak to her. Should I be more polite? I guess that doesn't matter too much. Anyway, worrying about the niceties isn't the most important thing right now.
Oh, actually, we should introduce ourselves first. I'm Yu Narukami.
Ah, that has slipped my mind also. My name is Elizabeth. Dear me, to hear that name fraught with memories in such a mundane, remote place.
She thinks of this world as a mundane place? That's confusing. Yasuo Inaba may be out in the countryside, but I don't think it's as bad as people say it is. I think he learned his lesson now. And is applying it. But still almost blew it. The girl, Elizabeth, suddenly bows elegantly to me.
Margaret is indeed my sister's name. Can I take that to mean that you are another guest of that room?
I see. So she's Margaret's sister. That would explain why she reminds me of her.
Elizabeth-san, huh? Well, I guess that's the case. It's true that there was a time when I visited that room.
Igor, Margaret, and now Elizabeth. Seems there are more people who call the place home than I thought. You're forgetting Marie there. I think I'm glad I met Margaret last year instead of this girl.
But why is a resident of the Velvet Room here? Did Margaret send you with a message or something?
I am currently utterly neglecting my duties.
Oh, Margaret did mention that.
Is that so?
That doesn't really tell me much. I have no response anyway. So what possessed her to become blasting through the ceiling instead of using the door? I decide not to bother asking her that. I've met so many different people over the last year, but trying to have a conversation with this girl is like trying to ride a wild horse. She's just going to ignore the direction I'm trying to steer us towards and just veer off wherever she wants. Best to just hold on and go along for the ride then. Maybe if I pay attention, she'll tell me something worth my time. Even if I try to ask her any question, she'll likely be confused anyway. Just as I'm having the thought, the girl seems to have noticed my hesitation and starts to talk about herself. Her eyes are lit up with a sincere passion. She really is a hard one to read.
I have a certain desire. It may take a very long time for it to be realized. In order for my wish to be granted, I require a power much greater than what I have. The power of the wild card that changes bonds into strength. I have a feeling that the key lies there.
I know a little about the wild card, but...
I feel that the first clue to granting my wish lies within that power.
Glue?
Flu? Influenza. Something along those lines at any rate.
She's having trouble coming up with the right words, but I can hear the sincerity in her speech. Probably. In other words, I think she means that the power of the wild card is related to her desire and came here. I don't think it's worth it to ask how she knew I had that power or where she found out about it. Just as I'm struggling to follow the meandering path of her conversation, she brings up an outrageous suggestion.
Might I suggest that you and I fight?
What? Someone please tell me how she reached the conclusion that this was a good idea. I don't think I have a chance of talking her out of it, though. But of course I have to try, so I say... Give me a break.
Oh, how excited this is making me. My expectations are ascending skyward at Mach speed.
Alright, so the response probably was the same either way.
To be direct, I'd like for you to show me the potential slumbering within you.
Let me make sure of something, just in case. You understand what I'm saying, right? There's no illusions at work?
Such parlor tricks can get stuffed.
I see. So you're actually in your right mind here. That's kind of, impressive.
Well, maybe she understood what I meant when I mentioned the illusions. If that's so, she at least must have some idea of what's going on around here. And even though she might understand it, she still wants to fight me. I wonder, though, if she's unrelated to General Teddy's plans and invited herself into the tournament, do the usual rules apply? As I think about this, Elizabeth-san taps her foot on the ground and takes a fighting posture. She really does want to fight. The huge, leather-bound book in her hand opens as if by itself. A torrent of power pours from the opened book with a blue light. I can't believe that this strange girl has such unimaginable power. She seems so aloof. No. It may be more correct to call it an air of imminent violence.
All right. I won't be able to hold back.
To be honest, I was really only saying that in the hopes of bluffing her. I have absolutely no room to hold back in this fight. I hurriedly cast off my fear and focus on the upcoming battle. There's no room for doubt. I need to hit her with my full strength from the start. Even if I were to fight her with the intent of killing her, I'll be lucky not to end up dead myself. At least that's how I feel. Elizabeth-san calmly begins the battle.
Let us do this. Your fate is in the cards.
Yeah, we'll place a bookmark. Oh, 13, huh? Ah, such great luck. All right, we'll get 2 more fights in instead of 1. We don't even know her height? How?
Finally.
Impressive.
Holy shit, that's Thanatos.
I'm surprised.
You knew the risks when you put in the command. Just when I thought I'd managed to throw her off balance, Elizabeth-san gets back up elegantly as if nothing had just happened. Suddenly, I feel an intensity build up in the air. Don't tell me she hadn't been taking this seriously at all up until now. In the next moment, I'm swallowed into a torrent of power like a leaf being blown into the air, without the slightest understanding of what's happening. My vision blurs as I'm spun about, and before I can tell up from down, the floor jumps towards me and I'm slammed into the ground. Am I going to lose? As my consciousness fades, I see the faces of my friends and Aiga-san, all those I had fought against up until now. It's like that story that you see your life flash before your eyes just before you die. Am I dying? Can I really accept that? I'll fight as much as I have to in order to save my friends. I'll fight as much... that. I have to keep fighting. I've come so far, I can't lose heart now. I desperately force my legs to move and manage to stand up again. Elizabeth-san shuts her book with an air of finality.
I see. I am quite content with this outcome. It seems you possess true strength.
The unyielding torrent of power suddenly yields without warning. Is it over? Even as I come to understand that, I continue to stand stock still, unable to move.
I believed you were at the limits of your stamina after the battle against Igus earlier. In actuality, your heart almost gave in during your struggle with me. But each time you faltered, the many hearts supporting you gave you strength, helping you to rise again.
She cuts herself off and nods to herself as if to confirm some suspicion.
This was truly an intriguing battle. I believe our encounter has borne much flute.
Flute?
Flu? Chimneys.
Fruit, damn it.
In any case, I am quite pleased.
Even after a battle, she acts like that. I feel like a fool for believing that she really would have killed me, even if it was quite real at the time. I can't believe any of this. My legs give out under me and I sink to the ground. Maybe she understands how I feel. Elizabeth-san looks straight into my eyes.
May I ask you something? To continue fighting in order to prevent an undesirable future, it is a path of endless hardship. would you still choose to walk it?
Margaret had said something similar just before this tournament had begun. How I had overcome the ordeal concerning last year's case and opened the door. Margaret's and Elizabeth Son's words come together in my mind.
Yeah. Working for a better tomorrow isn't just a one-time thing. The tomorrows keep coming.
Opening the door is necessary, but it's not what's truly important. What's more important is making sure that you follow the path that's beyond the door. Only once you have that path in mind does it matter whether you've opened the door or not. That's how I feel.
I would keep fighting, for the future we want.
Elizabeth Thon smiles at my answer. It seems the former dweller of the Velvet Room is pleased with my answer. She must have chosen a path of her own at some point, and is doing everything in her power to see it through. Maybe I'm jumping to conclusions, but I feel as if I'm able to understand her a little better now.
Well, it's time for me to bid you adieu. By your leave, I, Elizabeth, am out of here.
With this, Elizabeth briskly walks out of the room. She caused me some trouble, but I also learned something about myself as well. I think I'll call it a draw. As I wave goodbye to Elizabeth, I hear Aiga's son getting to her feet behind me. Oh, did Aiga's son completely miss Elizabeth?
Are you alright? You shouldn't force yourself to move.
I was concerned at first, but Aiga's son doesn't seem to be very hurt, or damaged, or whatever you would say. She was likely just knocked out. I had absolutely no chance of winning if I had gone easy on her either. This is getting ridiculous.
You are very kind. We've only just met, and yet you're worried about a machine like myself.
Huh? Isn't that normal?
Aiga's son laughs at my confusion.
Seeing you smile like that, I don't know. I just can't think of you as a machine. You have a heart, right? Then it doesn't matter whether you're man or machine.
Aiga's son stops laughing and thinks deeply for a moment. But after a few seconds, she looks back up at me with a serious look in her eyes.
You have defeated me in single combat. That will make it difficult for me to continue forward. But I believe I can trust you. Will you listen to my mission directive?
I have no reason to say no. I look Aiga's son square in the eye and nod reassuringly. And so Aiga's son told me about her directive, and it was truly surprising. There was another case involving personas and shadows outside of Inaba even before our adventure last year. And she is a weapon with a heart created with the express purpose of wielding a persona to fight these shadows. She believes that this current situation came to be because someone had stolen a similar weapon and caused it to enter the TV world.
So, there's another girl robot with a heart like you? And she's the cause of all this?
We came to this world to retrieve her. My older sister, the 5th generation anti-shadow suppression weapon, Labris, is in this world somewhere.
Nanako, Miss President, her shadow, and now Labris. Obviously Miss President is Labris, come on. I have a mountain of tasks to accomplish now. But even though I have a lot to do, I can't ignore any of it.
Tell me more about Labris, and I'll do what I can to help you get her back.
Unfortunately.
Aiga-san's expression clouds. She said that she was a machine, but that she is really no different from a human. As I'm listening to her, I think about what this means in my search for Labris. It's not helpful.
So you don't know what she looks like, what she can do, or what equipment she's loaded with?
Basically, all she can tell me is that Labris is a robot who's built to look like a girl. Wait a second. I did meet a girl I didn't know in the TV world. Miss President. Oh. I thought we were gonna have to, dwell on this for a while first. Could Miss President be Labris?
Is there a possibility that she looks, well, more human than you? You mentioned earlier that she was your older sister, so I assume she was built before you, but...
My sister was an older model, a prototype for the 5th generation to be exact. It's doubtful that she would look more human than myself.
Then there is no way Miss President could be Labris. I could tell at first glance that Aiga-san was a machine, whose president appears to be completely human. I never once considered that she might not be human until just now. But that just makes things even more complicated. What in the world is going on inside this TV?
Alright, in any case, I'll keep an eye out for her. But right now, I'm heading to the announcement room. If Labrys is the cause of this, then I'm bound to meet up with her eventually.
I shrug slightly. I don't want to be so grave. Aiga-san must sense what I'm trying to do and smiles.
Thank you. I will trust my sister's fate to you.
Of course. I gave Aiga-san a determined nod and run out of the classroom. But man, what a busy Golden Week. I know, this has only been like one day. I have to make sure Nanako's okay, find this president, unmask whoever's masquerading as Teddy, and now search for Labrys somewhere in here. If this wasn't happening, I'd be kicking it with my friends at the Junes food court. Yukiko seemed to be trying to be coy, but I'm pretty sure that big bundle she was carrying was probably boxed lunches that she'd made. Ah, Junes allows outside food, huh? As to how they might taste, well, let's not get sidetracked. I'm sure we'd have enjoyed them anyway. Oh, that's brilliant. We can defeat the final boss by having Rise, Yukiko, and Chie cook for them. Eventually, I would have called Nanako over and we would have brought in some snacks together. There were things I wanted to buy from the Shiroku store, and maybe I could have made it to Saozai Daigaku in time to buy the last of their special croquettes. I wanted to talk with the owner of Daidera and get some books from the Yominaido bookstore. This is the speed run of site pronunciation here. I'd have a steak bowl at Aya, hang out with the fox at the Tatsushimi Shrine, wait for my uncle so we could have dinner, and tomorrow I'd have gone fishing. Yeah, why didn't you bring the fox with you? You need a heel, man. If the one who ruined my vacation and caused all these problems is the same person who stole Labrys, and if they truly brought Nanako back into the TV world, I will never let them go for that.
I'll make them pay.
As I run on, I come across yet another blue door. Perhaps a sign I need to calm down. True, I may have lost my cool for a moment.
Someone here? Again?
I reach towards the door with a relaxed smile. Margaret is in her usual position. I glance around to see if there's anyone else in here. It looks like her nutcase of a sister isn't here. Margaret notices me looking and sighs, a seductive sound that also conveys annoyance.
It seems my sister has caused you some trouble, though this may mean that I'm not the only one who is drawn to the light of your potential.
There's a hint of tenderness towards her sister in the words. Her sister must be important to her. I can tell from the look on her face. Do I look like that when I talk about Nanako? Margaret pulls herself together and speaks again.
You have gained new resolve by overcoming many doubts and falsehoods.
A new resolve. I find myself nodding along.
You have reached the threshold of truth. But man's hearts are mutable. That is why a resolve to continue fighting is more important than any one victory or defeat.
Yeah, I understand.
But this will be a difficult battle without end. Are you equal to the challenge?
The way she puts it makes it seem as if she was testing me. I don't respond immediately and think about the question. It would be lying to say I'm not worried. I know that my heart can be swayed by change. There is no knowing what will happen from moment to moment. But even then...
If I have my friends, if I'm not alone, I can do it.
I see.
Margaret nods slightly in response.
I have heard your answer, but it's not enough. Remember what I told you before? The heart is shaken more by a single action than by 1,000 words.
As she smiles, my vision begins to blur. I hear my words being repeated, not mine, some words of indeterminate ownership. I have reached the threshold of truth. Everything that's happened during the course of this case runs through my mind. The new appearance of the TV world. Oh, come on. Hey, nerdy. Yeah, we're about to wrap things up. If only we could get to a safe point. The new appearance of the TV world, this tournament pitting us against each other, the student council president and a fake Teddy. My encounter with a weapon of the heart, Aiga-san, searching for her sister, Labris, and the determination that I've gained enough through these constant battles. What I must accomplish. How do I show what I've decided through my actions? Yay! Oh. Woo. Okay. So that is a wrap. I got to start getting ready to head out to Labor Day activities. So we are going to wrap things up now. Now, most importantly, there we go. Let's get some snowy in before we're done here. So I think what we're going to do with this, I have absolutely no idea how much is left. We'll at least finish Yu's story. So we'll do that next week and figure out where to go from there. Which means next week might be the final time to vote for Detroit Become Button. It's a very tight race. Anyone could win it, but only if you vote. Now, in the meanwhile, my name is Drew, and I stream for Damage Control Blog. This is a variety channel, which means we stream a variety of games with a variety of streamers. So this was Persona 4 Arena. And next week, is it too early for Sunday again? Or are we doing Sunday? Regardless of whether we're doing Sunday. Okay, we are. Alright, so we're probably getting our Sunday streams back next week with some more Ninja Turtle action. Beautiful co-op stream. And then on Monday, we'll follow up. We'll get some more story in. And lots and lots and lots of reading. I'm probably going to have to be drinking honey instead of a drink next time. This was rough on the vocal cords. But anyway, if you want to get a big notice and not that instant, oh, by the way, we're streaming now, notice that you get from Twitch, we do put announcements in advance on the blog, and occasionally they even have the correct start time in them. So, but if you want to know whenever we post to the blog, well, you can just stare at your computer screen hitting F5 over and over and over again. Or you could follow one of our social media accounts, being Twitter, Mastodon, and Facebook. And we will post to them, maybe not so much Twitter, because the auto post is has gone all sideways on that one. But you'll see notices of new blogs, including the stream announcements on our streaming days. Pursuant to that, if you've had a great time with this stream but didn't watch it live because it was at a weird time, give us a like and subscribe on YouTube, where all of our VODs live, and you're probably watching it on right now because it's been more than 2 weeks. But who's to say? Feel free to like us on Twitch as well, but only subscribe if you have more money than you know what to do with. And finally, if you want to talk about these games and all sorts of other things that we blog about, including movies, music, food, technology, anime, all sorts of fun pop culture-y stuff, hop on our Discord. We got an invite link right there in the chat. That might still work. I haven't tested it lately. But apart from all that, thank you all for coming in. And whether you were lurking or chatting or rooting for me to fail miserably, you're all a part of what makes our show what it is. So, oh, there's no doubt that was Dio. So anyway, does anybody have any raid suggestions? If not, I will just take a peek and see who is online. I see Gamer Bowie's on. They got some Baldur's Gate 3 action. And not a lot to choose from in the middle of the day, so I guess we'll just hit up Bowie. Oh, yeah. It's true. Well, you know, it'd be just like me to raid a stream out to check on a stream and have it end before I've finished typing the raid command. Anyways, we're going to send you over to Gamer Bowie. They're doing some Baldur's Gate 3. It is the new hotness, and I know at least some people in the chat are huge fans of it, so why not? So, in the meantime, it's been great. Enjoy the rest of your holiday. And okay, the Raid Now button's ready. See you next time.